Hello and welcome to Game Day Live ahead of Manchester City taking on Tottenham. We've got all your watch along needs tonight. I'm joined by Robbie, the Tottenham fan.
I am.
He is actually a Tottenham fan tonight. It's very weird, very weird. Where's your shirt?
No, I ain't going that far.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Just giving it.
Rumour has it you got one underneath.
Yeah, rumour has.
Limits to these things. You know what I mean?
We
But
might have to check that.
you know, I would like to see Tottenham do well tonight. You know,
I'm sure,
you should be happy for me to say that.
Why?
Huh?
Why?
That I would like to see your team do well
Yeah,
today.
but not for the right reasons. Anyway, we will get to those reasons in a moment. Nicky's also joining us. You okay, Nick?
I'm good, Abbi. Thank you very much.
Good. We'll talk about
I'm just
West
here for the
Ham.
ride, thanks.
I was going to say,
You supporting Tottenham tonight as well?
Anyone.
Yeah,
Just wanna see a good
I'm
game of
very
football.
interested to know kind of your feelings on this title race as well. And also, Fuad, you've come you're representing the badge. No shame.
Come on, man.
No,
We don't hide. We don't hide. Win, lose or draw. North London derby defeats, we're here.
I mean, it's more than a derby defeat, isn't it, though?
Embarrassing.
We'll talk all about Tottenham shortly, and we'll have the lineups for you soon as well. But while Nicky's here, I'd actually quite like to talk about West Ham. Obviously, you signed Chris Wood. Sorry, no, you didn't sign Chris Wood. You signed Danny Ings. Not too happy with David Moyes at the moment, are you?
No. But just remember, if he gets sacked tomorrow, I broke it really early. That's what I would say. You know what I mean? I was the first to get sacked. No, it's for me. I mean, we need goals. So the signing of Danny Ings makes total sense. I've been banging on the Danny Ings door for a long time. I think he'd do really well for us. I think he's a good player. He's a player that can create chances himself. He works hard. He's everything that Moyes likes in a striker. And I'm shocked that we didn't go for him before. But I'm really happy with the signing. Good, decent money as well. 15 million quid. I don't think, although he is past 30, there's no resale value. But at this time in the season, at this time when you're in trouble like this, you need bodies there and then. You know what I mean? You can't be waiting for people to taking gambles and taking risks. So I don't see it as a risk. You know, the only thing I can see as a risk is his injury record. In terms of Moyes, I think he's going to go. I think he's going to go win, lose or draw tomorrow. I think,
really?
I honestly do. I think that if we want to progress as a football club, I think we've got to make a change. And I've been saying this for months, Robbie. And I was one of the first people to be saying it when it was, from the outside looking in. You're thinking, oh come on, man, it's just a blip. But it's not just a blip. It's been a whole year. 5 wins, Premier League wins in a year. It's relegation.
5 in a year?
5 in a year, yeah.
Wow.
It's relegation form. We haven't won a league game since October. I know we had the World Cup in between, but when you're going away to Wolves and setting up with 5 at the back when you need to score goals, Wolves are terrible. They're a terrible football team, but we're worse. We're worse.
But what's gone wrong there? Because obviously you were doing so well across Europe, qualifying, everything looked like happy families kind of at West Ham, and that's... Well, what has happened? Is that kind of like the repercussion of being in Europe?
No, I don't think it is, because we had that European campaign last year and we were still doing okay. I think it comes down. What I truly think it comes down to is the fact that there is no evolution in our play. They can basically, coaches and stuff that have played against the David Moyes team before can pull out notes from 2 years ago and they'd still be relevant. And we've got a lot of dead. When it comes to people like Antonio, Cresswell, that have been there a lot of years now, 8-9 years. Some of them players, degradation of their of the way they play. It happens quickly. I was talking to a football coach the other day, and they say, "Yeah, man, you can have. This is why the likes of Wenger and Ferguson, when they were selling them players at 30, 31, you think, what are they doing, man? Like, he's at the top of his game, but you see they go backwards very quickly. And he said, literally, I was talking to an ex-player as well. He said, it literally happened for me over a week. He goes, well, I was at the top of my game playing the best I ever could. 2 weeks later, I could barely run. It happens that quickly. And I think there's just too much sentiment there. I think you've got to, and I've been saying this for a long time, when you want to progress as a football team, you've got to be ruthless. I think our time has passed now. I think we're going to have to start climbing our way back up again. And I said this a long time ago on a show we done, Rob. I said, I would have been ruthless and just sacked him, because if you want to go forward, you have to progress and evolve with the game.
Who would you get in? Because that's the thing.
This is the thing.
It's all right saying
it was a more attractive proposition 4 months ago than it is now. You know, now you're looking at, you know, 3-4 months ago, with, you know, the European campaign, you know, the 2 seasons we have had, the money that we spent in the summer, you may have been able to tempt a Pochettino and just say, look, you know, come January, we'll give you more money, just sort this stuff out. But now we're looking at Sean Dyche or someone of that ilk. It's literally.
But if you get Sean Dyche in, is that any improvement?
I think he'll just bring a few fresh ideas, Rob, and I think that's what we need: fresh ideas. I think. The problem with Moyes is, Rob, is that the players have just lost confidence in him. You can see it. You can see the way they play. You can see it in their body language. They're thinking, this guy don't know how to go to the next level. You know, we got to a certain level. We've got there with hard work. He's playing players that shouldn't be playing. You know, Bowen was phenomenal for the last 2 years. He shouldn't be playing. And he plays week in, week out. And then he's dropping Ben Rama, who's been our best player by a long shot all season. Every opportunity he gets, he drops into the bench. And I think it's vibrating through the players now. And they're thinking, look, he don't know what he's doing.
Even with your new signings that you've been given, like Paqueta and Scamacca, I don't feel like he's fully...
He don't know where to play Paqueta. He don't know how to play him. I mean, we've had him here since the end of last transfer window, and 2 weeks ago he said, I might try him in a deeper role. What do you mean you might try him in a deeper role? You should be knowing what what he's good at. What have you bought him for? It's crazy. It's crazy what's going on there. But hopefully he goes, because I've had enough.
That's a massive game you've got coming up with Everton on Saturday, right? I mean, that's a real 6-pointer. I mean, for both sides as well. I mean, a lot is riding for Frank Lampard as well. What do you kind of expect to see out of that game?
Tight, nervous. Moyes is set up, if, you know, he's going to set up not to lose, which he's been doing all season. Last week's game against Wolves was another big 6-pointer. And he went there the same way he's gone into every other game. And I've said this, it's the definition of madness. You're doing the same things and expecting different results. If he goes there tomorrow, Everton are better away from home because they haven't got, they've got a lot of problems at the moment. They've turned massively. But they take confidence going on the road because they haven't got to face that. You know, they've got a small away section. And they're going to come tomorrow, and like every club has come to West Ham this season, they're going to smell blood. They're thinking, you know, this is the chance, this is the opportunity for us to get some points on the board and perhaps turn our crowd a little bit. It's going to be a tight game tomorrow. Tight game. Is it tomorrow? No, it's not. It's Saturday.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be very interesting because there's not too many great managers out there in terms of the direction. I mean, if you had your pick, who would you go for? Obviously, realistically.
I don't know. As I say, it was 4 or 5 months ago when, you know, you looked at that record. Attempting a Pochettino could have been possible. It's not possible now. Not possible to get him, Tuchel, anyone like that. You're looking at the Dyches, the Benitez's of the world. Benitez, maybe.
You're going from one negative football, what you're saying, to another. That's going to be
what
negative.
Choice have
if
we
you
got?
go to Dyche, that's going to be negative.
But what choice have we got? What choice?
Maybe stick with him.
No
stick
way.
with him and let him get you out of it.
We can't afford. He's not going to get us out of it. We cannot afford to stick with him. We cannot afford to stick with him. No possible way we can stick with him.
Yeah, I don't think you can. I think you have to look elsewhere. Yeah, even if it's foreign, I would even say. I think maybe not even looking at some of the English managers, but weren't you lot linked with the Sporting Lisbon manager in the summer as well, Ruben Amorim? But
that's the guy to get you out of trouble now.
I mean, if you can tempt him with January, we'll back you with 1 or 2 signings.
Getting close to the call.
I wouldn't. Close to the back end of the window.
How long's he got? 10 days. 10 days. 12 days of window shut.
It's kind of like a thing at the moment. If you want to be able to stay up, I guess you need someone that's kind of been in the league and been in that dogfight before. But then
I don't think.
Well, I'm just saying that
Sam Allardyce on a 6-month contract.
Nuno has been mentioned. Nuno Gomez has been mentioned with us. You know, he's not great, but I think he's better than what we've got.
Sometimes though, you stick with a manager.
Nuno's not bad,
right? You know what I mean? You look at you look at Nottingham Forest.
Yeah.
They stuck with that Steve Cooper, and now they're starting to go up the league. So.
But he's getting,
I think it's too big of a risk.
Backing.
They've spent a lot of money for us, and also, you know, Steve Cooper brought them up from the place he took over and brought them up. I mean, it was always going to take time to adapt in the Premier League. And they would.
But look, they were in a mess.
They were,
right?
but they would have been wrong to sack him. They would have been wrong. Maybe this is too far gone from a West Ham perspective. Right. Anyway, should we get some lineups?
Yeah.
Talk about your team for the evening. I'll even let you.
How are we looking?
How are we looking?
How are we looking?
I'm even going to let you do the Tottenham lineup.
I'll tell you what, mate, this is a game big enough that even Lee Judges would cheer a Kane goal tonight, I think.
We'll start with City.
No, he said he will. He said he'll cheer a Kane goal tonight.
I need to say us because I'm actually a City fan for the evening. So City, Edison in goal, Lewis, Ake, Stones, Akanji, Gundogan, Rodri, Mahrez, Grealish, Alvarez and Haland.
Tottenham side, look, why is Lloris in goal, man? Now, come on now. I mean, we want to win this.
You're going to scupper.
You know what I mean? Why have they put Lloris in goal? Right? Davis, Dyer, Romero, Perisic, Bentancur's back, guys.
Bentancur is back.
Højbjerg, Royale. Come on, man. They don't want to win it. Now, they're sabotaging the thing. Why is Royale in it? Royale, Son, Kane and Kulusevski. That is...
You know,
your
again,
strongest team,
when you look at the bench, do you notice someone that doesn't even get on the bench for the last few games?
Jed Spence.
Oh, yeah.
He hasn't been on the bench in like the last 2-3 games.
He must be off.
Off
he must
where?
Be off.
I mean, trust me, there's a lot more people I want off before I see Jed Spence. I'd like
Got
to see him come on rather than be
It's
off.
quite a strong team. You've got
Emerson,
Basuma on the bench. You've got Doherty, Lenglet, Sarr, Sessegnon and Richarlison. I didn't think that Sarr did that too bad against Arsenal.
Look, he probably shouldn't have played. What was your opinion, actually? Let's catch up on your thoughts for the derby.
The thing is you got Drana in the midfield.
Yeah.
So no matter who played in there, they weren't going to look great. So I think making his debut in a North London derby, his first start, is throwing him to the deep end. You're throwing him to the wolves, essentially.
Yeah.
I think I would have tried to, Basuma, you've come in, you haven't really made your stamp. Go on, this is the kind of game where you can really put a stamp on yourself. So I think he should have been given a role. But against this City team, again, they're a team that's midfield heavily dominant, and you've got a half-fit Bentancur coming back in who's trying to get his fitness, and Højbjerg. I can see that being the weakness again. And then you've got Emerson Royale and...
But at least you're playing Perisic today.
It is, but this is the thing. It's always so lopsided. In a North London derby as well, why is Perisic not starting? Why is Ryan Sessegnon getting this play in a big game like this? It doesn't make sense.
But then don't you have to ask questions? Like, surely you've asked some questions of Conte. Like, when you face Arsenal, you know how dominant they are in the midfield. You've stuck with a 2. You know you're going to get overrun. Why have you done that? And again, the same tonight.
I said the majority of that result, more than the board or players individually who we talk about, I said that lies with Conte. With how you set up to start the team. I think the press was lacking. I think first 5 minutes you saw a little something, and then it seemed like, once the ball comes past the halfway line,
but that's something that's consistent with us.
It is consistent with us, but I do feel like Conte at some point has to get onto the players.
Yeah.
Whether it's even on the half touchline, if you're going nuts, I can see then it's the players. I wasn't seeing that. Half time, you don't see any changes. Even when the substitutions are made, you're still sticking to the same system. Despite seeing your midfield get drowned out, your wing-backs are offering you no options. It's just slow and almost reactive. And
do you think he's doing it to send a message to the board?
100%. We've seen this with Jose as well. He's the same type of manager as well. And the thing is, has he been given what he wanted? In the summer, I said you tipped Arsenal ahead of the Champions League. You were supposed to be given this unlimited budget, and you basically ended up with Richarlison and a couple of bench warmers.
Hold on, wait a minute. In the summer,
go on.
Tottenham fans were saying we won the transfer window.
Because I was sat on this very platform.
We won.
It wasn't a good window.
Maybe you didn't say it, but there was many Tottenham fans saying we won the transfer window.
That was Sky.
We won the transfer. You got Richarlison, Basuma.
Bench warmer.
You think Basuma's a bench warmer?
Well, when we had Højbjerg, Bentancur, and you've got Skip supposedly coming through and was getting all the rave reviews last year, you're thinking you've got 3 solid box-to-box / defensive midfielders. What is the purpose of Basuma?
Well,
the only reason why I feel like we signed Basuma was because he had that case pending. All the other clubs are a bit hands-off, and we saw, you know what? That's a bargain there, 25 mil, let's go and get it.
I actually kind of saw that as a good signing, Basuma, because the way he was playing at Brighton was more box-to-box, but he was also playing in a 3 more often. So I think if you're gonna take him completely out of the system he's used to, fine, and then try and use him in a more defensive role, which is not really his best role.
I think we've needed a creative midfielder since Eriksen has left.
Oh, yeah.
And
absolutely.
the fact that we neglected that in the summer baffled me again. Someone like a James Maddison would have been perfect, in my opinion.
He chose Conte to not sign an attacking player.
But he was saying in the press conference as well, I want a creative midfielder. I want an extra right
but
wing back. I want an extra centre back.
Listen,
so for me,
I think
those three areas are creative midfield, a right wing back, and a centre back. Yeah. You knew before the summer window opened, those are positions that need to be addressed. So when I'm seeing Richarlison, Forster, Perisic coming in, I'm like, all right, this is nice. Good early start. But after those first 2 or 3 weeks, Spurs didn't do anything in the back end of the window.
They didn't actually strengthen the positions that needed.
We got linked with Bastoni at the start and then ended up with Lenglet on loan. It was a classic thing where you get linked with Skriniar and then you end up with Joe Rodon.
Yeah.
Come on.
We've been down this
road. We've been down it literally. Same Spurs
I think I'm still of the opinion that when is your manager, they'll start taking a bit more of the blame. Is he only able to play 5 at the back? Like, can't he play any other system?
Jose, Nuno. Do you know why? If you play 4 at the back with Eric Dyer, have you seen him turn on a half turn?
What about Lenglet then?
Have you seen Lenglet on a half turn?
The reason why he's
bombed out of Barcelona is because he can't play in a back 4. A lot of these guys are being played in back 5s. Ben Davies plays in a back 5 for Wales and looks good there because he's being protected.
He's brought him in to play in a back 5.
Can't he adapt?
Can't he do anything else apart from play in a back 5?
Robbie,
you know what I mean? Because even if you go and get a creative player, if you go and get a creative player in that back 5 system, where's he going to play?
I'll give you a prime example. You as an Arsenal fan, when you had Socrates, when you had David Luiz, when you had Holding, when you had that whole mess.
But we played a back 4.
Yes, but then eventually when Arteta came in, what did he do? For the first 6 months, I remember he was playing a back 5 consistently. Why? Because he knew these guys are not good enough to play in a back 4, so how can I lock it up a little bit more? So for me, it's a case of
you didn't really play a back 5.
And it's been like that for
over 2
years.
It has, but my argument would be, it doesn't...
Alderweireld and Vertonghen, we haven't replaced.
And Eriksen, we never replaced.
You're talking about players
Dembele, we never replaced.
Depreciate over time. We saw them go from the best centre-back pairing in the Premier League, where they had the best record, to within 2 or 3 years expired right before our eyes. We've seen it with Lloris now as well.
Well, look, this is where it always comes back to the board and about things going stale, but you also do have to question the manager. And my thing would be, if you've been there for a year, almost a year, coming up to a year and a half, almost, and you've been playing a back 5. Clearly, for this season, a back 5 is not working for you. So then there has to be a question asked.
Adaptation.
Adapt your style. Adapt something, because your tactics and what you're trying to enforce does not work. And I've sat here many times and said that. And the fullbacks aren't good enough to implement what you want. The defenders aren't good enough to implement what you want. You don't have to play Eric Dyer. And what my biggest concern is that in the last 3 managers that we've had, both Jose, Nuno, and Conte have all opted to choose Eric Dyer as their mainstay.
My argument is this, right? With Antonio Conte, right? He's not getting the best out of the players that are there. I look at other managers, right, that have had... So let's look at Ten Hag, right? Ten Hag's come into Manchester United. Rashford was terrible last year. All of a sudden, he's one of the best players in the league, right? You know what I mean? Wan-Bissaka, that every United fan was saying, get rid of him, get rid of him, get rid of him. Look how well he's playing now, right? Look how well Dalot was playing before, He's getting the best out of the players that are there. When I look at Eddie Howe, he's gone into Newcastle. Joe Linton, who people are saying, ship him out. Look how good he's playing. Look how well Almiron's playing. Fabian Schär. All these guys are having no ratings, right?
Eric Dyer has been there for 9 years.
Even you could Arteta at Arsenal, right? You know what I mean? With what he's done with Xhaka. You name me one player at Tottenham that he has improved, that he's come in and now he's getting the best out, because they're not as bad. Some of those players you've named, yes, if you want to win a league or you want to consistently hit the top 4, yes, you probably do need to replace them. But they're not that bad that he can't make them better. And I don't see him improving any of these players. All I ever see him doing is blaming everybody else, apart from himself. A lot of your fans give him a pass. Which he shouldn't be getting no more. I get it. I understand. I understand that, the problems at the club. You want to, you should be spending more money, etc. But he is getting a pass as far as I'm concerned, because there are players there. They've gone backwards. Like Son, look at him, he's getting worse. under
Is that not on the players at some point though as well?
Yeah, I think you also have to.
But who's he improved?
He's
I just
not a
named you
place
some
that-
examples.
It's not just
Who's
about
he
who
improved?
It's
Who's
not
he made
just
better
about
than
who
Nicky?
he's
I
improved.
can't think of anyone he has improved.
The thing is, though, is you could have said last year when he came in that first 6 months, like Ten Hag's had his first 6 months, you could have said Emerson Royal had improved. You could have said Romero had improved. You could have said Kulusevski and Bentancur, the way they came in, those had improved the team. Kane was playing brilliantly as well. Son was getting golden boot, you could have said. So there's many things. This season, it hasn't gone right. I think that's a knock-on effect of the summer. A lot of these players like Lloris falling off a cliff. I think Dyer has ran through that purple patch of form that he had and now has gone back to his default settings, if you like. And there's a lot of these individuals that have constantly let this club down time and time again. There's a few pieces, as I said, Romero, Kulusevski, Bentancur. Outside of that, though, it's Kane, yeah. Outside of that, though, this is a squad that's needed gutting for about 4 or 5 years.
I mean,
Jose's
since Pochettino was there.
Pochettino has said this squad needs replacing. He's given new contracts and we haven't had the overhaul. Jose came in and every time we give them these small freebies and loanees and try and tell them, look, this is enough to get you over. Here's Gareth Bale returning back on his last legs. Oh, here's Højbjerg for 15 million. It's, come on. If you actually want to be a serious club competing with the likes of Arsenal, Chelsea, City away, go in there and actually give them a game, you've got to actually invest in the club. And I'm sorry, in the past 20 years, one thing we've seen with this board is when the time comes to push to that next level, they do not invest. And Conte, for me, is another example where he's just highlighting that.
But I don't think you could. I saw this a lot with Mourinho.
Yeah.
Because of his name, because of what he's done, they do give him a pass.
They do, 100%. But the thing is, Conte was winning a league title before he came to us with Inter Milan. The reason why he walked away was they didn't back him. They went to go get him in the summer. He rejected him. They faffed around with Nuno for 4 months, then came back to Conte and said, you know what, Conte, we're sorry about the summer. We're now going to deliver on all your promises. Look where we are in January.
I do
3
think
weeks into January and we still haven't...
And also you have to realise...
Why would you give him any money and him sign a new deal? Why would he be mad to do that?
I do understand that
I said
part.
this, when he signed an 18-month deal, I said, what he's doing, he's putting this board on trial to say, you've got 3 windows to show me that you actually want to be where you want to be. Otherwise, it was all lip service. All of that you were giving me in the summer, afternoon, it's all lip service. And now we've seen it. 18 months essentially wasted by the board. Not by Conte, in my eyes, because the board are the ones selling this dream. And
But he signed a lot of players in the summer.
Yeah.
Players that I don't think were good enough, in my eyes.
But
signed them.
he thinks they were.
But at the same time, you have to look at his comments, because the only player that he came out and said that was a club signing was Jed Spence.
Yeah.
So these players he
And that's a
obviously
key
has.
area.
These players he obviously has picked. Whether or not they were the first choice is a different thing. I don't think Richarlison is a poor signing. It's with strength and depth.
Yeah.
I think Basuma's a good signing. But and I thought Perisic was a decent signing as well for again more strength and depth. And I thought Jed Spence was a very good signing.
But that's the thing.
But again, it's not enough when you've seen the damage that has been done by letting squads go stale and not giving enough. And the first point of contact, like Fuad said, you ask anybody, people would have said 2 centre-backs or at least 1 centre-back, a first-choice right-back, left-back, a creative midfielder. That was the areas. And out of all of that, we got Longley on loan, Jed Spence, who unfortunately doesn't play, and nothing else.
I do think there is obviously something going on at Tottenham, because
there's something going on.
There's there's been so many managers come in and they're failing and everything else. But I don't think. I mean, you look at Manchester City's bench tonight. Manchester City's bench is strong.
They would get into our start.
They would get in. I think they would get into anybody's starting lineup.
Ruben Diaz, Phillips, Cancelo, Laporte, De Bruyne, Silva. They're all getting in.
I think this.
That's our 11.
I think this is a football problem. There are players, there are clubs like this, that can basically go out and sign anyone. Chelsea, with the money, they can just go out and sign anyone. It's getting very, very hard to convince players to come and improve your team.
I just want to say one thing on that, though, because there is a limit to what you can spend. We're not the Chelsea of the world, we're not the City, and even so, Arsenal are being competitive. Today we've faffed about for the last week over Trossard. We bid 12 million for a 25 million pound player. We spent the last 21 days almost of the transfer window.
Pedro Porro.
Yeah, pissing about on Pedro Porro when the release clause is 40 million. If
we're
you don't want to
haggling
spend the
5
money,
million.
and what
we're haggling
annoys
5
me
million.
is that they plead poverty at every chance they get. They're not poor. They're the 9th richest club in the world.
Yeah, we have the same at West Ham.
I'm getting annoyed.
This is all. These are all smoke screens. These are all smoke screens by chairman. They know what they do. They're very clever people. These chairmen. They bid these amounts knowing that they're going to get turned down. And when the fans start saying like, "What happened?" Well, we tried. We tried. These are smoke screens. But
honestly,
but then you've got the other. On the other hand, you've got players like class players that could go that don't want to necessarily play every game of football now. You know, look at the bench that Manchester City have got. 15 years ago, you wouldn't get a bench like that because there'd be players saying, I'm not sitting on the bench, I want to play every single game. Yeah. And that is a change. I think that's a change in attitude of players. There's not players that want to go out there and play like the maximum amount of football. Yeah. They just want to
pick up the paycheck.
But
I also think it definitely there needs to be questions asked on these players as well. You know, they've had more managers than most players in the Premier League have had in some of their careers in the last 4 years. So that's another topic for later on in the show. But I want you guys to send in your predictions, please. Let us know what you think the score's going to be. Nicky, what do you think the score's going to be?
I think 2-0 to City tonight. Okay. 2-0 to City. Yeah.
You got a great record. That's going to the Etihad.
Into this record.
I'm going 2-1 to Tottenham. Come on. You know what I mean? You've got a great record there.
Yeah, we do.
And come on, it's about to... How many games you lost in a row
now? One.
Yeah, because you won the game before. But out of the last 5 games, what?
Last 5 games we've lost. I think at home, and we've lost 4 out of 5 at home.
Yeah, so this is away. You're better on the road.
Yeah, 2-1. Lost to Villa. Beat Palace.
2-1, but you got to start fast.
I won't worry. You got us in a couple of weeks. You'll be all right.
It's about time you started the game fast, man.
Oh, Fuad, prediction?
I can't see anything past the City win, to be fair. Lackluster form. I'm going 3-1 City, I think.
3-1 City. Okay, we have kicked off.
What do you go?
What am I going?
Clinging on to the omen. It's not happening, man.
Just anything that stops Arsenal winning the league.
You want to win, though?
I'm not talking about it.
Do you want to win or not?
Do I want to win this game?
Yeah.
Don't really care.
Top 4.
Top 4. Nicky, we're not getting top 4. I'm at a point where I don't actually care if we win or we lose, because even if we win this game, which knowing us, we will win this game, we will then probably lose Monday night to Fulham. We'll probably lose to Preston the week after in the cup. So
there's cup embarrassment.
We've
had a lot of cup embarrassment.
They're depressing,
as well.
aren't they? Not even Nicky speaking like that. Look, he's got more reasons to be, you know.
Mate, I'm used to it.
Look at this.
Right, I want to talk about Hugo Lloris. Because there was mumblings online that he may not have been starting tonight and Fraser Forster would be in. That would have been a very ballsy call, I guess, from Conte. Didn't, I guess, have the balls to do that. But I want to know, if you were in this situation with your keeper, Robbie, what would you want to see happen? Let's flip this as if it was Arsenal.
Changing, because, you know, I mean, he's making too many mistakes.
Your captain, though?
It don't matter. He's making too many mistakes. You've got to look at Maguire's the captain of Man United. He's been dropped, isn't he? You know what I mean? If you're not performing, it doesn't matter whether you're the captain or not.
Yeah.
You should be dropped. He's made a lot of mistakes this season.
So not just this season. I actually got sent last night a video on Twitter, a compilation of all the goals that Lloris has. I swear to you, it was about a 3.5 minute long video, and it was all the mistakes.
He makes a lot of mistakes.
It was all the mistakes that he's made. They're just terrible. When you watch them back, there's some you forget about, you know, just calamitous. Barcelona in the Champions League, remember that? Liverpool, Newcastle.
Even when they won the World Cup, France.
Yeah, that one was in there as well, to be fair.
It's always happens around January, February, most key part of the season. The nerve just seems to get to him.
Maybe he's cold.
He's been needing replacing for about 2 or 3 years.
And there is no plan about that either. What do you think about Lloris? Would you have preferred to see Forster in goal? Would you have felt maybe more confident?
As much as like I wanted to replace him throughout the windows or whatever, bringing Forster in doesn't do anything. Forster isn't a number one solution. He's not going to pay for
his distribution's awful.
I think he is well past, and he was okay in his heyday, in my opinion. So keep Lloris in. He's your captain. Let him get his confidence. See out his final season, if you like, and then ship him off in the summer.
It's not really a position that you can let somebody get their confidence back, though.
Listen, you have to, man. Listen, that back line is shoddy as it is, so...
If it was a right back, I'd say yeah, but a goalkeeper, I don't know.
If you were in that dressing room and and this is obviously not the first time you'd seen Lloris do something like that. Like, what do you say? And also the audacity, by the way, of when he did that. He's then shouting at the rest of the players.
Do you know what's funny? You got to come in at half-time as the captain and try and give us... I'm telling you, shut up, bro. Don't talk, man.
But because this has happened so many times, what do you think that they must... Like you have to. I would also say with the back line, it doesn't give you confidence if you know that your keeper has always got 1 or 2 mistakes in him per game.
It does, as you said, fills you with nerves in essence. But I don't know. I think the defence itself doesn't fill you with confidence. I think when you look at Dyer, Davis, even Romero himself, I'll be honest with you, over the 18 months he's been here, I think you've probably seen in small spells of him being a top defender, and that was probably at the back end of last season. This season he's been hit and miss and had a bit of injury issues, and the same with the start of last year. But I don't know. Our defence has been a big problem for us for a long time, since the Rose, Walker, Vertonghen, Toby days.
Going back
since then, it's just been papering over the cracks with Serge Auriers and Reguilons, and
they seem to get worse.
Aurier's actually doing well at Forest.
I know they seem to get worse with every signing we make.
Foyth, since he's left, wonder player. Fazio, since he left, he's winning trophies at Roma. Mate, every centre back who's left Spurs or defender goes on to live the dream.
Yep, Eric Dyer might win something if he goes.
Even Vertonghen was playing like another 2 years in the Champions League with Benfica and winning titles. I was like, what's going on here?
There's a super chat from Ethan who said Uber was our captain, wasn't performing, was a distraction, and not only did Arteta drop him, but he got him gone as well as soon as he could.
I think that's very different though, because that was for like a lack of professionalism. I think Lloris is probably the most ultimate professional behind the scenes. So. Complete different scenario.
every time the ball goes to him in those sort of positions, you're thinking, boy.
Also, people need to understand Forster's coming in. Like, Forster's like 44.
Yeah, I mean, also poor Kane. Look at how deep he is. Sadiq says Conte is damaging his reputation as a serial winner by being at Spurs. He wants to leave. He's not extending that contract. Do you think he's damaging his reputation?
Yeah.
No, but I also feel
it's the gamble you take when you come to Spurs. It's either you come here, you win 1 trophy, and it's like you could be lauded as the biggest hero ever, or you come here and it goes tits up, and it's like.
But you know, I look on it for it. If you have no intention of staying, you know the team's in a problem at the moment, right? And you really got no intention of staying, then resign, man. Let someone else take.
I would say that.
Let someone else take over. You know what I mean? I really do think. Well, that's it. Yeah, I mean, is he just there for the money then?
To be fair,
he's just there for the money then, because the thing is, if you're actually there, you're saying all these things about the board, and you're saying all these things. You really got the club at heart, yeah. And you are only there for the, just resign then. Let someone else take it over, right? Because if you're saying that I can't, if I don't get this signing and that signing, what are you still doing there then? Leave. Let someone else come in.
To be fair,
he'll get another job.
He's been like that since he got there.
Yeah.
It's from day one.
Like there's always been that sort of...
As if he's doing a favour for Tottenham.
Yeah, like there's always been that sort of threat of like, if it don't go my way, I'm walking.
Yeah.
And I think that sort of thing spreads throughout the squad and things like that, you know what I mean? Like they go to training probably, is he going to come in today? I don't know. He's going to be out. He's going to walk out.
Is the manager not right to demand that though?
No, you demand so, and a lot of that demanding you should do behind the scenes. But to publicly every single time you come, you're just
like when he says the level of Tottenham is not so high.
Yeah, and then
you're like, come on, man, you're killing us.
Other teams have got a bazooka and we got a little gun, and I do love that.
You literally bring it up at every opportunity.
But he said it.
Yeah, I know.
He said, that's what I mean. Yeah, I mean, what kind of stupidness is that to say?
Yeah.
Behind the scenes, do your.
I think he's trying. What makes me laugh a lot is that this is the one thing Daniel Levy hates the most, is having a manager that talks about you so openly in the press. And Pochettino was so respectful that a few times that he'd done it towards the end, he was told off for it. But you've had the last 2 managers that literally hang you out to dry it, and also Paratici getting hung out to dry the other day. We ran a poll, by the way. Manchester City, who's going to win, draw, and Man City with 48% of the vote, draw 28%, and Spurs win 23%. Let's move on.
The Arsenal fans are in there.
Yeah, there's always Arsenal fans in there. Let's move on from Tottenham to the other side of North London. Let's talk about Arsenal, shall we, Rob? Or is that not your favourite topic tonight?
Huh? Yeah, let's talk about Arsenal, man. I always love talking about Arsenal.
Okay, coming off the back of that win the other day, didn't really get out of second gear against Tottenham, in my opinion. Signing Trossard. as well. Good signing.
I think so.
It's a good signing, that.
I think I describe it as a good January signing.
Yeah.
Right? If we were signing, if it was the summer and we were signing Trossard, I'd be like, oh, I can't. Some other guys out there we could. Yeah. But at this time of year, where the situation we're in, right, like, you see Martinelli, we had to play him in the FA Cup game against Oxford. We had to play him in, like, he's playing like every week because, you know, we've got no replacements. You know, I think Trossard will be a really good sign. He can play left, he can play...
Right, scores goals.
He can play as a second striker. You know, he's been having a decent season up until he fell out with the management. I think for that sort of money, I think, you know, to strengthen the squad, I think is a good signing. He's not going to have to hit the ground running. He knows the Premier League inside out. He's been in the Premier League for the last 3-4 seasons. So I think it's a very smart signing. And a lot of times with Arsenal, we haven't always gotten our first target, but a lot of our second targets have turned out to be very, very good. You know what I mean? If you look at Zinchenko, we were after Lisandro Martinez and we got Zinchenko, and he's been a revelation, Zinchenko. We were after Vlahovic and we got Gabriel Jesus. You know, so I'm very happy with that. It makes perfect sense to me to get Trossard. Yeah. You know what I mean? If you're looking at some of the other, I mean, obviously we were trying to get Mudryk. Mm-hmm. We weren't able to get him because of mad people. Chelsea came in with their mad bid. Or you're looking at other targets like Moussa Diaby. You know, Leverkusen don't want to sell. Oh my God! Who was marking Haaland? How's Haaland unmarked? How is Haaland unmarked? Look at that! Look at him there! Oh, that's ridiculous! If he would have scored that,
was Kulusevski meant to be marking him?
That's shocking.
The one player you don't want to leave unmarked.
The best player on the pitch, you just let him run.
That is embarrassing.
Right? Good tactic.
Yeah, so I just look on it and I just say it's a smart signing by Arsenal.
Does that not worry you though that with Arsenal being such a tight-knit team and Arteta's built this culture of like togetherness there, that now all of a sudden you've got this guy who's basically had a mutiny to leave his club?
Yeah.
Does that not concern you a little bit?
I don't think they would have brought him in if he's a really, really bad egg. It could be just a falling outs do happen. Mm-hmm. I don't think Arsenal would have, you know, I think they do their due diligence on these things. And I don't think, you know, Ben White used to play with him, so I'm sure the manager would have asked him, what's he really like? Is this just a little one-off falling out? Because the one thing, the one thing we do know is that Arteta's not going to tolerate nothing like that. No nonsense, and to be fair to him, I mean, we'd never heard nothing like this before until this season. And he has been at Brighton for a while, hasn't he?
I think he's a really good signing for you as well. And not only that, you don't have to take a massive gamble on a huge budget for him. I mean, 25 million is a pretty bargain for someone like him. Also Premier League proven, scoring goals, scores against big teams. I think it's a really smart signing. I'm, you know, kicking Tottenham even harder for not going and doing that and paying the price.
Yeah, because I did think he was going to go Tottenham at the start of the window.
It would have been good for us.
And would have been a good signing for you.
I couldn't see us forking out the money. We'd wait till deadline day.
25 million. Yeah, he's like, here, have 12 million. We'll try for 13 million tomorrow and see if we can get closer day by day. But that just shows you Daniel Levy's back in charge of transfers. Paratici isn't. However, I want to talk about your title race because I think it's time that we do admit you are in the driving seat. It is yours to lose.
You like using that word, don't you? It's yours. You want us to fall apart, I know. But go on.
Of course I do. It is yours to lose. Obviously, we saw last night Manchester United again. They could have closed the gap. But again, Elise's last-minute goal into the draw. Casemiro is going to be out for your game.
What an idiot.
What an idiot. A huge blow for us.
That should have been a red, by the way.
Thank you, Nicky.
I thought it was a red.
Thank you. That's what I said. I was saying that. That was a red card.
2 feet
it's
off the floor.
Right on his knee.
Yeah.
I thought that was as well. I thought
that was a straight up red card.
But honestly. Also, you saw Ten Hag shaking his head, and you know, I think he was shaking his head about the impact that's going to have on your game.
It's the kind of booking you almost think he just wanted the day off.
He knew Partey was coming. He's like, I don't want that smoke.
I don't want that smoke.
You're flying to tackles like that. You're looking for a holiday, man.
I thought all day it was a weird one, right? Because when you think about it, it's only one. They were winning 1-0 as well. It weren't like It weren't like it's 1-1 and he's going through now could score the winner. It didn't make no sense. So, but yeah, he'd be missing in that game.
That's obviously a big positive.
That's a big miss for them.
Yep, and a positive for you.
Yeah, well, listen, I think even with Casemiro, they'd have a tough time at Arsenal.
What do you expect out of that game? Do you expect to be dominant and win that comfortably, or do you think this is going to be your biggest challenge?
I think it's a massive challenge. Manchester United have been they've been on form. I think Manchester United, the way they play with their sort of counter-attacking style of football, quick transitions, they're very effective. They're very, very good side. Rashford's been on form. But then also looking at it and say we haven't lost a game at home this season. You know what I mean? And we are a very good side at the moment, as you guys saw on the weekends. And again, I feel that if the best Arsenal turns up and the best Manchester United turn up, I think we win.
Okay, we'll be back in 1 moment. We are just having a slight technical error. Be back in 2 minutes. Surely that's yellow.
What's Dyer doing there?
Hi, and welcome back. Sorry about the technical issue. Hopefully that has been fixed for you now. Anyway, Robbie's been trolling me during that little break, saying how good Royale is. So, back to what we were talking about. Can Arsenal win the league, Robbie? Can they? Is it yours to lose?
Oh my God.
What is that?
What's he doing?
Yes, we can win the league.
You can win the league?
Yes, we can. I mean, we've got a good chance of winning the league. It's going to be very difficult. There's a long way to go. But why can't Arsenal? Why are we not in the shout? I mean, we're
get up, man.
We're ahead. We've been ahead for a lot of the season. And I think at the moment we are the best team in the league. If we can keep it going, yes, we can.
Do you foresee that you're going to keep it going?
I feel that listen, it's going to be rocky times, obviously, right? But I look on it and I say we're going to be very difficult to beat at home. We're very good at home, and I think on the road we've been pretty good. So why not? Why not? Why can't? I mean, it's not easy. I think a lot of it is. Remember when Liverpool won the league? Mm-hmm. They had a real injury-free season.
Yeah.
Certain players like Van Dijk and that, they stayed fit the whole. We need a bit of that luck.
Well, I think you're kind of.
We need a bit of that luck.
You're kind of having it so far. You haven't suffered.
So far,
you haven't suffered too bad.
I know, so far, but it's still, apart from Jesus being out, and we've weathered the Jesus.
Add some curse on that, please.
Yeah, we've weathered the Jesus. But what I'm saying, if we can keep a lot of players injury free, especially like Partey. Some of those key players.
Odegaard.
You don't have replacements for them.
I really do think, why not? We've got a great chance of winning it.
Yeah.
This guy is lost. Man.
Let's just have a quick chat about what we've seen in the first 20 minutes. Nicky, what have you seen from City?
Not an awful lot, but Spurs are playing themselves into trouble. Mm-hmm. They look off the pace.
What's up with that hairstyle that Emerson Royale?
That's the least of his concerns.
What's that hairstyle, man?
The hairstyle's
I wish I had a hairstyle like that, man.
That's shocking, man. Yeah, Fuad, man, hit him up with your barber, brother.
I'm saving him all his career, mate.
Has it been City have been the better team, but Spurs have just basically invited them on over?
I think they've invited them on. Yeah, they're just giving the ball away too easily. Can't get out their own half.
Yeah, literally.
You think the same,
string
Fuad?
4 or 5 passes together. Similar, like I said, midfield's getting completely drowned out. You could just see Højbjerg there chasing the ball earlier just with his head down because he's just thinking, no matter what I do, I'm just going to be chasing shadows, basically.
Do you think that it's kind of like they're so used?
Dangerous.
Here we go. 1-0.
Do you think it's like they're used to conceding, so it's in the back of their head that they think it's always coming?
Look at this now. You see this counter? Yeah, there should be bodies sprinting up.
That's a yellow card, that.
And that's the difference between this season and last season as well. They are not emphatic on the counter.
Yeah.
I want to talk about Son. There's been lots of people saying, can you ask Fuad about Son? Talk to me about Son. You've got to give me an honest analysis. Should Son be playing in this and Richarlison's on the bench?
Hell no. Son should not be playing. Son should be nowhere near the starting lineup. at this moment in time. Like, his form this season, I think he's lacking in confidence, and he's someone who's majorly relies on confidence. But I think, in my opinion, I just think we're just starting to see almost the beginning of the end of Son, in my opinion. You've seen his game kind of become more of a final third player. He doesn't really link up. He doesn't really beat the man 1v1 anymore.
Remember when he used to be able to run from one end of the pitch to the other?
But now it's more kind of sit in the final third, wait for Harry Kane's blind pass, and then kind of finish your dinner. And if he's not doing that, essentially, he's not really contributing to the game. I've said I think we should potentially look to start moving on from him. I know it sounds crazy to say because he's been such a great player for us.
29.
He's 30, actually.
Is he 30?
Yeah, he's 30 now. So 30, he's got the big contract. He's won an international trophy, so he's got his legacy secured at international, and he's got no threat at him at Spurs. An Asian Cup, I think, is it? For Korea, man. Listen, that's how we beat the military service. I'm telling you. You got to earn your stripes around there, man.
He's got an Audi Cup, which is technically an international cup.
But yeah, I just think it's coming to kind of the tail end of his career now, and this is where we do the typical thing of we'll cling on to something for the next 3 years.
He'll still
be
there
starting
when he's
week in, week out at 33.
See, is that being listen, I don't care, but ain't that being a bit harsh, right? You know what I mean? He's having a poor time of it. You could have said the same thing last year of Rashford. And look at the turnaround.
Rashford is 23, 24.
No, but he had a horror season, didn't he?
I'm sorry, it's completely different. He had a horror season, and I'm all for, you can bounce back off a horror season, but that's what I'm saying. He's 30.
I'm not
plays
saying
a major factor.
I'm not saying we should get rid of him yet, but
I think you could still, right now, this summer coming up, you could still get a big club.
He's going to have a very big lengthy contract. So it's he only signed that contract last year.
Sorry, Abbi. Yes. This guy Romero, what's wrong with him, man? He's so rash.
I think he wants time off. He had a month off before the World Cup, didn't he?
What's it?
He didn't even touch him. Come on.
No, but he's just rash, man. He got a yellow card for that.
He is rash. I think he was lucky to be on still in the derby. There was some questionable ones.
He was awful in the derby.
Just want to go back to that. I'm not saying we should sell Son right now because this is the longest poor period of time we've seen him have. But we do cling on to players for too long. Look at Dele Alli.
But that's what I'm saying is when is too late to move on from players? We've seen Lloris expire right before our eyes. We've seen Toby. We've seen Vertonghen. We've seen Danny Rose. We've seen every player who we rated to some degree has failed at a club before we've moved them on. And then by that point, we struggle to move them on because they're probably on big wages. They're probably over the hill now. And they're not really as appealing to other clubs. Yeah, now, I still think you could move Son to a top team. The problem is it would just be such a shock move because it's like, he's only had one bad year. That's what top clubs do. Top clubs move on from great players. We say, thank you for your service.
Time to
remember your time. Time to move on now.
We've still got Lucas Moura. We could just do a whole show.
Don't even get me started.
We could just do a whole show on it.
You lot got some dead wood,
bro. It's the wood that's the foundations. That's the worst bit. The problem. It's dead wood.
Our underlay is the problem. Nicky, when we got here off air, we were kind of talking about City and Haland, weren't we?
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on Haland? Has he made it better at City or not so much?
I don't think you should ever turn down a player of Erling Haaland's class. But I said this at the beginning of the season. I've said it on this channel at the beginning of the season. I fear that they're going to become too one-dimensional. When they started selling Jesus and Sterling and things like that, they've been so used to this sort of interlinking sort of play. They've had no focal point. Go on, son.
Where are you going?
No, son, no.
They've had this. They've got this culture embedded in the club where they have this interchange in front three, and it makes it very, very difficult to play against when you don't know who's going to be in that position at what minute. With Haaland signing, you're never going to give up Haaland's goals, but they should have kept that backup plan, that way to revert back to that interchanging. Obviously you've got to convince these players to stay. It's not going to be hard when it's going to be difficult when you've got someone like Haaland for someone like Jesus. And what are we laughing at?
Look at the average positions, man.
You know what, right? Because you know what, Nicky, this is really weird, yeah. Because I actually want Tottenham to win or draw tonight. I'm kind of looking on them in a different light today. They're poor, man.
Bruh,
I mean,
this is what you're trying to hype up, Robbie.
Jeez, man.
Everything you were saying, Nick, was bang on. We were talking about that on Round Table on Monday, and it's not to say that you wouldn't.
Oh my God!
Off the head of
Save
Ake.
their life.
Yeah, and it's of course not to say you would never give up the chance to sign Haland for 60 odd million ever. But I think they were maybe a little bit too rash, like you mentioned, in selling Zinchenko, selling Jesus, selling Sterling, leaving them without those players that have been there, done that, got the T-shirt, and had that option for them to kind of come on. And maybe he thought that Grealish would step up more. Maybe he thought Foden would be stepping up more.
Yeah, but
Alvarez.
There's. I think
Oh my God, it's you.
it becomes subconscious as well. This is funny, man. It becomes subconscious. You've got a player like him. You know, you see the Grealish when Grealish crossed the ball the other week. He said in an interview, he said, "I just laid the ball in there because I knew Erling's going to be in there somewhere." And it obviously wasn't him that tapped it in, but it becomes subconscious. You rely on that. You think he's a monster of a player.
So you're looking for one particular player
all the time,
the rest of the team.
and you're trying to, that's a lot easier to defend against than this interchange in
the genius
front three.
of City was that they could
Yeah.
open up any options.
From
They
any
would look
area.
at you, and any area, any angle, they could still carve you up. And yeah, as you say, when it's kind of becomes a little bit more predictable like that, I do think as well some of their star players this season haven't really lived up to expectations outside of Haaland. I think you look at KDB, is he playing at that top level? Gundogan, I think, has fallen off a cliff. I think Bernardo Silva is another one that's going under the radar as well. Cancelo has fell off
Is
the
that
cliff.
just the
Ruben
cycle?
Diaz
Is that
has
just
missed
the
large
cycle?
chunks of the season
Is
as well.
that just the cycle, though? Are they coming to the end of their cycle? Similarly with Liverpool.
I think
those players.
with every Pep Guardiola team, you always get that kind of 4-year, 5-year cycle, and then it's kind of they hit that not lack of motivation, but it's hard to be motivated to that degree every single season. And I do think the players do sometimes get tired a little bit and need a bit of freshening up.
But they haven't won the Champions League.
They haven't, and that's what I'm saying. It's really hard to maintain that elite mentality. Back post here, oh my God!
I mean, honestly,
This is
going in at some point.
Look how chaotic the defending is.
It's
There's
just
no
all over.
organisation.
There is no idea what they are meant to be doing. And the funniest thing is, I've been watching Robbie, and Robbie's like going back and forward, and he's a bit pensive, and I'm like, what? Don't ever. The one thing you don't do in life is ever bet on Tottenham.
No, I'm not betting on Tottenham.
No,
I haven't
never
put the
bet
money
on
on
Tottenham to help you out, because
know
they'll
what?
never help you out.
Little draw.
Do you know what City need though? City need when Gabriel Jesus, when they signed him in that January, and he was just that spark, just gave him that bit of freshness. I think with offloading Sterling, Jesus, and Zinchenko, they lost a lot of their kind of power off the bench. And as much as we can say they've got quality off the bench, I do think there is a little bit of quality that is missing. I think when I see names like Akanji and Rico Lewis, it's nice they're getting a chance, but they don't strike me with that City fear like they used to.
I think,
to be honest,
selling Jesus to Arsenal, although they wouldn't have seen Arsenal as a direct threat at that time, I think for as cheap as they sold him for, I think that's a crazy move. He's only still young.
It was Pep doing Arteta a favour. Let's keep it 100,
possibly,
man.
yeah.
Like, it was Pep saying, you know
Some
what?
favour.
I can see you're building something. You need a little
that's
bit of extra
horrible
quality to
tackle.
boost it in. Here's Zinchenko and Jesus. And listen, fair play, man.
Any
It's
danger-
what you use your friends for, isn't it?
We could get some favours.
You ain't
Good
got no
ones.
friends.
You ain't got no friends. That's
You
the
ain't got
problem.
no friends.
That'd be good. I just want to read through some of the chats. Just a Lost Cause said, how can people think Haaland is better than Kane? The dude can't do anything except score tap-ins. I've never seen a more one-dimensional player in my life.
Conversations.
No, you can't say that, man.
Oh, they're in
Because this
here.
is danger.
Romero! That's what I'm
Exactly.
talking about.
I mean, I feel sorry. Who on earth has gone up there tonight?
That's a good tackle.
On a
too.
Thursday night.
There is an art to being in the right place at the right time, and
you
it's
see-
it's the hardest thing to do.
Those types of tackles are my favourite.
That's a great
The
tackle.
recovery, last man, through on
That's
goal.
actually a great tackle.
That's a great tackle.
That was a heavy touch by Grealish, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, come
Very
get
heavy.
this.
Do you know what? We need more of that from him. That's what he
that
was more
came
like
off-
last season.
Yeah. Didn't
That's
that come
what we
off
fell in
Grealish?
love with.
I thought that came off Grealish, actually.
Exodus, Abbi asked Don Robbie about 1,000 camels. He'll know what to say.
I told her about that one before
It's
the
a
start of the
1,000
show.
camel. You said 100.
It's now
I thought it was
1,000.
100. Is it 1,000 camels?
It's gone up to 1,000.
Yeah, 1,000 camels.
What's this about?
No, a guy offered a thousand. He said he's from Saudi Arabia. he offers 1,000 camels for Abbi's hand in marriage.
Jeez.
What am I going to do with 1,000 camels?
That's a lot of milk.
There was someone else. There was someone else that emailed in for you. They offered a Twix. A Twix and a Mars bar.
I'd rather have the Twix, to be fair. Earth Extremity said United were poor last night against Palace. Palace played quite well, and the Palace defender Richards kept Rashford quiet all through the game.
They've been going at it the last couple of minutes, these two.
He got a yellow card for that.
Another look at
Lucky
that.
That is nasty, Højbjerg. I like that.
Ooh, he could get a red for that. And they stepped on him twice.
I mean, he was falling.
Got in the way,
Højbjerg's, you know Højbjerg's dirty, man.
Yeah.
He only got 2 yellows.
He loves it.
That's he only got 2 yellows this season.
Cleaning up the act.
Parisian says, Abby, do you need a bit of our oil money from our owners? Yes, we do. Oil us up.
Hey, the Qataris, actually, yeah, they're in talks, isn't it?
I mean, there's that debate where people say, oh, but you'll be selling your soul. Are you not on the page where you want to sell your soul?
Excuse me?
Sell your soul,
I
right?
will sell all of it, mate.
Yeah,
Just
sell all my soul.
Give us a couple of
Give me
Champions
that
Leagues.
oil. I'll bathe in it. Give it to us, please.
That's a different website.
Yeah, true. Ram said, who are Fuad and me supporting today? Fuad is supporting Tottenham. I don't care. And it's really sad.
That's disgusting.
I don't care.
You've got to support your team, man.
I don't care. Tevin said,
You can't say that.
I don't care either way. I've got to go to Milan and watch us get knocked out of the Champions League.
Well, you don't want to go there on the back of like poor form.
I don't want to go there, full stop.
I hope you've got like the whole day
shopping
planned
night.
out
Yeah,
there.
I'm gonna make the most of the day.
Yeah,
Great shopping
no.
out there, man.
I'm gonna make the most
Don't
of the day.
go there just for the football.
No, I'm going to try and
That's
make
disaster.
a nice day of it. Nice day. Tevin says, why can't Conte play a 4-3-3 like a normal person? Surely Højbjerg can be a decent centre-back and a pair with Romero.
I don't know why I can't
Jed
play.
on the right, Perisic on the left. I mean, I wouldn't put Højbjerg
And
as
Romero
sense
is a red card and penalty waiting to happen.
Jed Spence on the right, Perisic on the left, with Basuma sitting as GM.
Perisic as a left back as well. I know left we
Why
can play
can't you
left
play a
wing back
4-3-3 or something?
I don't know.
because we don't have a left back period.
Yeah.
You've got Sessegnon or Ben Davies because Perisic is a left wing back. I'm not giving him left back duties. We don't have a right back, and none of our centre backs are good enough to play in a 4.
When Royal was at Barcelona, where did he
was
play?
not at Barcelona.
He
He
was
was at Betis, and then Barcelona signed him, and then within that same summer we bought them off him
But there's a
for
lot of
5
clubs-
times the price.
What?
It is money laundering, I'm telling you. They bought him for 6 million
dodgy
off Real
club, man.
Betis
Didn't
and sold him for 30 million for us.
Yeah, 30 million to us.
Ridiculous.
Because they obviously saw
And we said no
enough.
to Tomiyasu for 18 million just so we can go and get him
Thank
for
you.
30.
Just so
That's
we,
another one.
Just so we could
That's
say
another-
that we signed
'cause
someone from Barcelona.
Do you know we were actually looking at Mr. Royal as well?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. I would love to have
Then
seen
we
if
got
it
the
would have been the
memo.
other way round, if we would have been good at
It's
Arsenal.
funny, even the summer where they signed Tierney, we were both looking at Tierney
Yeah.
and Sessegnon, and we decided to go, oh no, we'll go the young route. And I was like, get the one that's playing in the Champions League at the moment and winning titles. Makes no sense.
Yeah, but it costs, things cost. Brian said
Same
Robbie.
price.
Yeah, same price.
Well, Sessegnon was more expensive.
Yeah, because
He was 30 mil. Tierney was
Ridiculous.
25.
Brian said, Robbie, I can't wait to bask at the sight of our midfield bullying those Red Devil scum. We will extinguish our title hopes on Sunday. Mark my words.
yeah, I want to beat them, man. I want to beat them.
So are you confident that you will?
You still got to play City twice.
Yeah,
Listen, it's United are a good team. But why not? We're at home, man. We haven't lost at home. So we should be confident.
Hurry up, Harry G in the super chat said, can't wait for Newcastle to take over from Spurs as a top 6 club. Won't be long. Spurs fans will be saying top 7. Well, we'll be saying more because Liverpool aren't in the top 7, so it'll probably be the top 9.
Chelsea aren't
Top 10
either.
Chelsea aren't, so it won't actually be about Tottenham.
And that's the thing about the top
I'll
6
tell you
race
what,
or whatever.
can I
There's
just say-
always
It'll be about the
a
top
couple
10.
of teams every year fumbling.
Can I
that
just
always
say-
leave the door open. So
They look a little thing at the back, innit?
Yeah, a little
City,
shaky,
innit?
yeah.
A little shaky at the back tonight.
Is there questions to be asked about City defensively then? And
Yeah,
and
no,
then
I
still,
don't think
not
they're as
just
good
up front?
defensively as they normally are.
they
You know?
massively miss Ruben Diaz, I think, at points this season. They don't have a
Can't die, I
centre-back
bang that
pairing.
in, mate.
They don't have a pairing
He's
that
a
they can
panic.
rely on either. Every week is Aki Akanji, Laporte Akanji, Laporte Aki. You don't know who it's going to get.
You're right. But
It's a good delivery.
Oi!
Oh, he dropped it.
there must be a reason for that, though, surely.
It's Højbjerg
Just
doing.
loves fluidity, man. Well, look at how you go from a corner back to your keeper.
Route one.
Oh, go on then.
Go on, pass it in.
Why did he pass that? Allowed
On the outside of him.
everyone to get
No,
back.
he's going to
Shoot.
shoot. He's going to shoot.
Don't-
Go on, have a pop.
That's good. That's good.
Oh, that's decent.
Nice.
Oh! Shot on target for Tottenham.
They look shaky.
Son
man.
should
City
have done a
looks-
bit. Could he have done a bit better with that header?
Nah, to be
that's a
fair, it was
tough
going
one,
the other
right?
way. Just pulling it back across.
Shame that wasn't Kane.
Good cross though.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. Right,
Oh,
let's.
sort of come off.
Took a deflection as well.
Yeah.
Hakeem says, I know he won the Premier League with 3 at the back, but that formation is too gimmicky to consistently beat a good side. We will always need centre-backs and wing-backs.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think that's going to win the Premier League now. With the teams that are in the Premier League, there's a lot of attacking teams in the Premier League. I don't think just counter-attacking 3 at the back is going to win it.
point.
I just don't think it's going to win it no more.
That's a good point that someone's made. Real Cosa said, what happened to your other Spanish left-back?
Reguilon. Well, where is he on loan? Atletico Madrid
Ooh.
somewhere? With his stunning...
Oh,
Stunning
forward, yeah?
Marta.
Wow.
Stunning wife.
Yeah,
Kane?
not playing too often as well. I think he made his debut just
But when
after
you
the
look at
Christmas
what
break.
Tottenham have got now, obviously
have some problems there, man.
we've come a long way from Walker and Rose, and they've and Trippier, and they've gradually got worse. We've never actually really replaced on the left. But would you have said Reguilon was that bad?
No, I would have kept
when he
Reguilon.
came in, I thought he was good. That
I did
Reguilon.
as well. He
Even
was
when he
okay
was
for a while.
off form, I would have kept him because I think he's got more natural ability
To get forward and be pacey.
He had more tools
yeah.
in his game where you could actually see he was a decent footballer.
I thought
if
he
that
was
makes
good.
sense. I think defensively he had his lapses, but I would rather had Perisic and him as a pairing rather than Sessegnon.
Yeah.
Sessegnon's the one you sell with the premium British tax. You could probably make a decent money fobbing him off to Burnley or
not now.
something.
Yeah, super chat from Prem who said, "Would you take Demiral at Spurs?"
That is my kind of centre back. He is, but
Don't
he's
think he'll come.
he's a little bit of a Romero
He's
as well.
available.
So
Might not
He's
come.
available at the moment.
Is he?
Demiral, yeah.
I would definitely take him. I think he is athletic, like definitely a front foot, aggressive defender. Doesn't pull no punches. Yeah, I'll take him all day.
There was a point here that just got made that Tottenham could be 8 points behind Newcastle by Sunday night. What is really the goal then, Fuad? Talk to me as someone that's still wearing the shirt.
Listen, I'm just wearing the shirt for vibes on this. The kit looks nice. That's it.
Does it?
You know, vibing with
I ain't
it?
seen a good Tottenham kit for about 10 years, mate.
I like this one personally. This one and the third one last year, was it the black one that looked like
Yeah,
it was
I like-
an acid trip?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
that was insane. I didn't like that.
Yeah, I like that. But what are the targets this season? I don't know, to be fair. I thought we had a plan with Conte, but now that that's gone pretty much tits up, I don't think there is one. It's kind of the anticipation. You know, when you can see the car skidded off the road and you're just waiting for the crash.
Yeah.
That's pretty much where we are at the point. Because when Conte...
Good save by Lloris.
Because when Conte confirms that he's not renewing his contract, Kane has got 18 months left on his deal. Son is not playing at his best. And you look at the other players like Kulusevski, Bentancur and Romero, who signed for the club because of Conte.
Yeah.
What are they going to say once he's gone? So it's only a matter of time before they start leaving. So over the next 2 years, there's going to be a massive turnaround and overhaul. It's just a case of who's Spurs getting next.
So so where do we go in that direction?
There is only one man who can bring me back to really getting behind his team, in all honesty, and that is Thomas Tuchel's Tottenham Hotspurs. That's the only man.
Another Chelsea.
You love a Chelsea manager.
There
Bloody
we
hell,
go.
man.
There
Give it
we
a rest,
go.
man.
There
Leave
we
it up,
go.
man.
I knew it. You sound
Don't
like
do it
every
again.
other Spurs fan.
Don't do it again,
I have
man.
to say, I
Another
didn't think-
Chelsea.
I wasn't entirely sure that was going to come out of your
Listen,
mouth.
Another Chelsea
that.
op.
They don't even want to hear the reasoning. They don't.
I
even
want to
wanna-
hear. I want to hear reasoning. I want to
Glenn
hear
Hoddle, give it him till the end of the season.
Riddle it.
You might need to give it to
No.
Glenn Hoddle to the end
For me,
of
I
the
think-
season.
I think-
Another Chelsea
if you
op,
look at-
3 at the back again.
Listen, they're not
Come
bad
on, man.
managers. That's the thing. It's just because they were at Chelsea. That's not my fault. You know what I mean? But
As
I
it
look
worked,
at Thomas
as it worked,
Tuchel. I look
You
at
said, didn't you say earlier the definition, or was it Nicky? The definition of madness
I've said that
is when
to-
you
I said
keep
that to
doing
you
the same
yesterday.
thing.
Yeah.
How are you going to go and get another
Do you know what the
ex-Chelsea
difference
manager?
between
Try something else.
Jose and Conte?
Try something else, man.
Can I give reasons, please? Because with Jose and Conte, they are win first. Right now, you must give me what I need managers. I think Thomas Tuchel at Dortmund, at Mainz, at PSG even, he's shown, listen, I can work with some of the things I'm given. I can work with some of the leftovers of the managers.
With all due respect, I've heard the same thing for Mourinho, and I've heard the same thing for Conte. The same thing.
So let me ask you lot the question then. If not Thomas Tuchel, who? Because it seems like...
Find someone new.
Since there's such a pushback on Tuchel, I would love to hear the other suggestions.
I think there's only one option, and that's to get Poch back.
Please.
Why? He did such a poor job in the 5.5 years he was there.
I'll tell
made
you.
us competitive. I'm more than happy to go back. He shouldn't have gone in the first place.
Do you know why Poch makes even less sense? Because it's the exact same situation he walked away from. At least with Thomas Tuchel, I think the club would want to get behind him. I think it would be the same thing where with Pochettino, where they were
you can't say that you think they want to get behind him when they've had Antonio Conte, who was
I don't believe they'll get behind anyone.
Haaland's in.
Haaland's in behind. Forget that.
Wow.
Lloris did well there.
Very well.
Yeah, and then he flapped it.
Yeah, I don't think you can say they'll want to back Tuchel, but they didn't want to back Mourinho and they didn't want to back Conte. Well, what makes Tuchel any different? You need a manager that's going to come in and work with youth and try and develop something and be okay to have a massive rebuild.
Is, I feel like they're all being brushed in as the same. I feel like Jose, they brought him in, he was too demanding, and they thought 6 days after the Super League debacle, they used him essentially as an excuse in my eyes. They got rid of him. They shouldn't have, and I thought they should have backed him. They didn't. I think with the Conte situation, he's on a short-term deal. So they're thinking, why are we going to back a manager who's going to walk away 6 months later?
Yeah, but they've given him that contract.
I'm not here backing the board, you know what I mean? But I'm saying, if this club is realistically going to move forward.
Defending, man.
Ben Davis, this is the guy you lot are telling me I should keep.
Schoolboy defending.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
Oh,
how did he miss that?
I don't know.
6'5".
Listen, I see your point. I think it's a nice idea, but I think it's just the same recipe. Let's try, another.
Too short, bruv.
Jeez.
I ain't bothered. I don't care who it is. Then I'm not interested.
No, you know what? You lot need to go out and find a manager like not Poch, but a manager like him.
There is. He's at Chelsea.
That's going to build.
He's at Chelsea.
Potter would have been. Yeah, Potter would have been perfect for you.
Abbi, would you take Thomas Frank?
Yeah.
That would be a good manager.
I would take Thomas Frank.
That would be a good manager.
I feel like he's the flavour of the month.
No, I'd take Tom. I would have taken Graham Potter. Like I've said many times, he turned us down twice. He didn't want to come to the club because of the way the club is run, and I respect that he didn't want to come because of the way the club is run. I don't want to be there because of the way the club is run.
Thomas Frank is a good shout for you.
He's a very good shout. But again, my thing is that the way that Brentford do transfers is really great because they base it on their Moneyball system. We don't have that. So again...
No, but maybe you should because
you're
saying you don't want to spend.
We should. But again, unless you're going to get rid of the board, they're not going to change their transfers. With 15 managers down the line. I'm seeing one common denominator.
And he's suggesting that you do go back and do the same old thing that you've done all before. Go and get another Chelsea.
That's why I don't
my thing is go and get a good manager.
You need to go and get a manager that can make the best of what he's got. Because I'm telling you now, they've got.
Can Tuchel not do that?
No.
I don't know.
I don't think he can.
Think so.
Because again, you're looking at managers that have won things and that have want to, and
was
that
he not doing it at all?
And that are ambitious.
Oh, Tottenham! He scored! Kulusevski! What a mistake!
I'm telling you.
What a mistake by City. They're dodgy at the back.
Terrible at the back.
What were they doing? And it's 1-0.
Them tourists are shocked.
1-0 Spurs.
See their faces, all the tourists look like that.
Pep's fuming.
Get in there.
I love Kulusevski. He's about.
So do I now. I love him too.
Look at this.
Love you, my son.
What a sloppy pass.
Terrible pass.
Good finish.
Yeah. Edison set him up to fail there.
Shocking.
Well done, Bentancur.
You know what? He's looked a bit ropey as well, Edison.
Edison has, yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Bentancur right. Press.
How are you going to put the ball to it? I remember, used to do that a lot. Leno used to do stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
You put man under pressure. That's your fault. Stop blaming other people. Ordinarily, I would be vexed right now. I'd be like cussing. I'd be like, what? Come on, City. You broke everybody else. Oh, man, well done, Tottenham.
I'm telling you now, if this... Obviously, there's a long way to go in this game. There's another half yet. But if Arsenal can survive those 2 games against City without losing the games, I think they're champions.
I agree. Well, especially if,
We should have beaten them at home last year. Remember that game?
Yeah, we won. We played better in the first half.
Well, at Anfield.
Yeah.
We should have won the game based
So
on the first half.
And Newcastle.
What about Chelsea?
Don't go there and slap up that already, man.
I'm just asking. So
We've done Chelsea.
I'm just asking.
No, we've got Chelsea at
You've
home.
still got to play. So you've got
Chelsea
Chelsea
at
at
home.
home, United at home, City at home.
Yep.
Then
And away.
City away, Liverpool away, Newcastle away.
Yeah.
So that's 6 games. I mean, I know that we're looking at where Liverpool and Chelsea are on the table at the moment, and we're saying they're
Being
having
again.
Oh,
Kane.
John
Again.
Stones,
Go on,
where
Kane.
you?
Where's your pace, man?
Oi, oi.
Where's your pace, son?
Pace.
Kane with pace. Come on, bro. Behave.
Oh, he's in.
Kane with pace.
Oh,
Oh,
he's
he's got it! Ah,
Emerson Royale!
oh, my days!
Chicken Royale!
Oh, my days!
Chicken Royale!
Scenes! Unbelievable scenes, Jeff!
Chicken Royale, baby!
Oi!
Hey, you win it if Royale!
Stoppage time.
Royale!
So many mistakes from the City
Look at
They're all
defence.
over the place at the back.
Jason's going to say, get off. Honestly, I hate this team.
Kane did well there.
He did really well.
I hate them.
Royale! Yes, my son. I can't believe I'm supporting Tottenham. And they're actually delivering too.
Hey, this is too funny.
Well, I'd like to.
This
This is actually too funny.
I'd like to congratulate.
Again.
Congratulate you because it will be the only time you hear me. I'd like to
Go,
congratulate you
Royale!
on winning the
Go,
league.
chicken! Go on, peasant, man. You know what I mean?
My God!
Hey,
That's a good goal.
The compilation's going to be
First goal of the season.
crazy.
Imagine that compilation tonight. Oh my God!
That's his first goal of the
Yeah, he
season.
does compilations when he just passes the ball out.
2-0, and that was right on half time.
Oh my God!
Right on half time.
2 goals right on half.
Only Tottenham could do this.
I said to you, this will be the one we win.
But to be fair, you're their bogey team.
I hate
always,
this. I hate this club.
This is cause
I hate this club so much.
Yo, City are a mess, you know. How do you let us do this to you
I
every
wanna
time?
be in the...
Isn't it
Literally
weird? Isn't it
dominated
weird?
possession.
It's weird. It's
Haaland
weird.
misses a sitter. What is wrong with him? Like,
It's
big champions.
everything is going right for you, and there has to be a time where something changes. Like everything is going right.
What a week.
Everything.
Win the North London
What have
derby.
you lot done? You've had a
Who
magic
have you
lamp or
paid
something.
off? What have you done? Because
God bless, man.
everything is
God
going
said, of all
right
the
for
years
you.
of suffering, man, I've got to
Oh
give
my
you...
God.
I'll give you something now, man. You know what I mean? Come on. I can't believe this. To be fair, City ain't played good that half either.
No, they haven't, but it's not the point. Even like last night, like United look like they're in the clear, and then all of a sudden Elise walks up and hits one.
Apparently, City fans have been booing at half time.
And even for Royale.
And when people say, oh, yeah, well, you've got to play City twice.
Oh my God.
Ah, listen, man.
Game is the game, Abby.
How are we gonna
The
work?
game is the
How are we
game.
going to work here?
The other thing I wanted to ask you is...
I need to reconsider.
Why's,
I need to reconsider my job.
Taking a
another thing
leave.
I've got to ask you. Why's Pep started this game tonight without...
Diaz.
Without Kevin.
Without De Bruyne? What's the-
Apparently, it's a personal issue.
Oh, okay. But he's on the bench.
He's on the bench. I don't know. That's what I read. It's a personal issue. I don't know. But we do need to talk about that half. Let's talk about City, shall we? Look at you smiling. You're making me sick, okay? Let's talk about City first. Nicky, what...
Can I have some more water?
What is going... You've got another one under there.
Champagne.
What is going on with Manchester City? Because you could, like, Tottenham are 2-0 up, and that, how bad are you to let that
Listen,
happen?
Tottenham couldn't get out their half for about 40 minutes, and then all of a sudden, towards the end of that half, I think Tottenham have smelt a bit of blood at the back, because every time they've got that ball at the back, they look like they're panicking. They look out of sorts. Every time that a Tottenham player's running at them, they're all over the shop. Do you know what? As good as a manager as Pep is, I think he's guilty of this sometimes. He leaves big players out of big games to try and be fair with this rotation system. And sometimes this can be the problem. Cancelo should be playing. Diaz is on the bench. He should be playing. De Bruyne, personal issue or not, if he's on the bench, he's there. What's the difference? Get him on the pitch. And I think this is cost him in Champions Leagues. This is why they haven't won the Champions League, because he gets to put to games. He tries to be too clever. He tries to give people rest and all that. Listen, they ain't in a position to be giving people rest. They need to be playing their best game because they're playing catch up now. They're playing catch up. By the weekend, they could be 11 points behind, and they're out of sorts. And I don't know, man. Booing at half time. The fans are turning against them. Pep could be on the way out.
Spoiled.
They are spoiled. Yeah, they are spoiled. But this is what I was saying about Spurs with their transfer policy. They need to get a manager to make the best of them, because, listen, get to the end of this season and Arsenal win the league. Man City, you see them, Mahrez past 30, De Bruyne past 30. They're going to be looking to replace these players. Liverpool are going to be in the same transition. Then you're going to have Newcastle in the hunt of people. There ain't going to be players for Tottenham to get. That's the problem. Like top quality players that you think should be coming to your club, they need to be getting a manager that gets the best out of these players. But all due respect to Tottenham at the moment, they're winning. They're winning the game. They've done enough. So yeah, they're out of sorts, City. Abby, that's what I was trying to say.
I've just sat here and watched Robbie stare at the league table, smiling like a child for a good 2 minutes. Get it
because they can't believe it.
Why don't you get it off your chest? Get it all off your chest.
Listen, if this result stays as it is, we'd be 8 points clear with a game in hand.
It's just
Game in hand.
Yeah.
So 11 points.
Yeah, because this is City's 19th game now, isn't it? Right? Because remember, they're playing this midweek.
Yeah.
They're
so you
playing.
could win the title by what?
So
34th game.
So we've got a game in hand over City.
I feel sick of it. I can't.
Yeah. We've got a game in hand over City.
Look at expressions.
I'm glad to see him happy, man. He's been suffering a lot recently. My friend.
You've been smoking him on Best of Enemies every
And
week.
the same with you guys. I'm pleased for you, man.
Listen, you ain't pleased for us. You're more pleased for yourself than you are for us.
Yeah, that is
Don't
true,
do that.
Rob.
Don't do that.
No, I'm pleased for them, man.
No, you're not, man. You can't say that, man, looking away, man. What are you talking about?
Hey, we go through a very tough time.
Oh goodness me! This world is getting worse by the day.
The City defending.
getting
Let me
worse.
be serious, yeah. The City defending is shocking on both goals. I mean, first of all, here, what is Edison doing? He just, that's not Akanji's fault. He plays it into a dangerous area, and good finish by Kulusevski.
They try and be too clever.
Yeah,
All you got to do there is clear your
Aki
lines.
taking a touch
That's
there.
all you've got to do.
Yeah.
Clear your lines.
Going
Clear
all
your
the
No,
way
but even then,
Yeah.
come on, look, there's no one near him.
It's funny because that's actually something that Lloris would do up the other end. So
Why would you play it into
Lloris
him?
and
You've
Dyer.
got two players out wide.
I don't know. It's very odd, but look.
Look at here now. Look, Akanji's pulled out there. He's played it right in.
right into him.
He played it into Rodri. Madness.
And Kulusevski's never going to miss from there. But it's really, really poor from City. And when we did Roundtable on Monday, I was saying kind of everything that Nicky was saying before. And some of the comments were like, this is not true. Like you're not like you're talking rubbish effectively. But it's clear
That
as
was
day.
a great pass by
It's
Benton.
clear as day to see that this system is not working.
not working for them,
It's
no.
not working for them. So people who weren't seeing that, I think your eyes would have been opened up tonight, because they are 2-0 down to Tottenham, and that takes some doing. We also
That's
scored.
a good goal,
We also scored in the first half, which equally does not happen.
2 goals.
2 goals. So you have to be asking questions of Manchester City. What on earth is going on?
Do you know what? This is actually a good goal by Royale, reaction-wise. I know I was mocking him a bit, but
He's just lucky to be in the right place at the right time.
No, but
Let's
look
not
how
gas it
quick
up.
that
Come
comes
on,
back to
man.
him.
He was
That's
just
a good
standing
goal.
there and just said, "Oh shit, it's here." All right.
no, it's a good goal, man. Serious. Kane did well.
To
there.
be fair
Okay.
though, Rob, I reckon I could have scored that.
Look, literally, there's no
straight to him,
movement, there's nothing.
actually
It just hits him.
I think that's.
it's a good
I
goal.
also think that's a bit of poor goalkeeping by Edison.
Yeah,
You
straight
don't
up.
push a ball out like that.
There's a super chat saying Harry Kane is truly a gooner after all. Our number 9. You've all got jokes. You've all got jokes.
This one up our own, Rob, eh?
The Fox is Kyle. Haaland or Vardy 2015-16 or Son last season? Who's better?
Vardy.
Vardy to 15-16 was unbelievable.
Yeah. He's probably better than a lot of players.
Herman Hazard says
see
that we're
that
overthinking. Did I see that celebration? Yeah.
You see that celebration by Kulusevski? He went right. He slid down, So he's doing the knee slide and then he closes his eyes like that. It's almost like, oh shit.
What have I done?
But this is going to benefit Arsenal. Oh.
Appreciate it. He's another Arsenal fan in the team.
Yeah, he is as well. Another.
Yeah, Kulusevski's an Arsenal fan, isn't he?
Yeah, there's quite a few of them knocking about.
Cheers, guys. You know what I mean? I know, you know. You do us a favour of that. Thank you very much.
Drought King says, Abby, tell Robbie about how Tottenham lost a 14-point lead in January. Keep staring at the table. When did we lose a 14-point lead?
When did you lose a 14-point lead?
In January.
Oh, sweet, Fred.
Yeah.
Where's the sweets at, man?
Come on,
on.
man.
Oh, sorry.
Is that how you been?
I know you're on this
Wow,
one.
that was...
You've been like that, yo.
Down the table.
Cecil in the chat saying love. Go away, Cecil. Original says Spurs win, Arsenal the league, can't write it. I mean, you haven't won the league yet. We are still in January.
We're far away from the league.
Let's not, be
proud of it.
ridiculous, but yeah, quite possibly.
We're not one.
Yeah, it's not looking too good. But are we giving any praise to Tottenham for the way that they've got themselves into this game? It didn't look like that was going to happen.
Not really. I feel like we've been kind of lucky to be in it.
Yeah.
At the end.
I think both teams have been poor, really.
Yeah. I
Both
think
teams
City
before.
haven't really created anything clear cut. They've had one of two kind of half chances of Haland that he should have taken. There was one header that I felt came to him in kind of the 6-yard box.
The Haland one which went straight
they
over.
flicked over. They should have been 1-1 from there, in my opinion. Pretty much dominating the game, but
Lee Judges.
lucky to be there.
Lee Judges is texting saying Arsenal going to win the league. It's here rubbish. Cecil has invited Fuad and I to the
parade.
the parade.
I bet he's sitting
No,
there.
we're getting ahead of ourselves now.
I bet Lee's sitting there in his full Tottenham kit that he went to the shop to buy. Come on,
Nikki,
you
what's
Spurs.
your view on that? Because obviously, as a West Ham fan, what do you want to see Arsenal win the league? Are you like Chelsea, where you're weird like that?
I don't give.
Don't care. So
care.
weird.
Really don't
So
care.
weird, isn't it?
No,
So
you know what?
weird.
It's like, I've got no grievance with West Ham.
Why does
I
everyone?
don't want West Ham to go down.
Why does everyone hate us? We don't win anything. We don't do anything.
I don't know what it is about you.
It's
man.
so weird.
Well, there's a reason why. I don't know why all the other teams hate you. I know why we hate you because it's the
No,
right.
I get our
Right, but
rivalry.
I'm not
Our
sure
neighbourhood.
because Chelsea hate you, West Ham hate you.
Do you know what it
It's
is?
just weird.
Do you want to know what it is?
Yeah.
Obviously, your North London rivals. It's always going to be hatred there, but because they've dominated you for so long, you think you can punch down on us because obviously you're in a better position.
Mm-hmm.
What have you done? You've won the same as us.
But we can punch down on you.
Yeah, you can, yeah. But in what position? From middle
I
of the
get it.
table to the bottom of the table.
But then it's like, I don't know, like Palace don't have any animosity towards us, and I'm like,
Yeah.
it's kind of the same dynamic.
Like, wouldn't
No
you-
one gives a shit about Palace, let's be honest.
But
They're not even in London.
Fulham,
are
though,
they?
don't
Croydon,
like-
really.
Fulham have no hate, but Fulham don't really hate anyone, do
Yeah,
they?
but Fulham never hate anyone.
Fulham got a neutral
Fulham,
stand
they've got
in
a
their
neutral
ground
stand,
for-
man.
I
You
know,
know what I'm saying?
but I
Oh,
just
no, they
don't.
do hate Chelsea.
They're not
Fulham do
serious.
hate
I'll
Chelsea.
tell you a story when I went to Fulham once, right?
Yeah.
It was weather like this, yeah? And they've got like this whole ground. You've been there, and
Yeah.
got this whole ground. They've got them like outside turnstiles, right?
Yeah.
I had my bag and stuff, and I was a lot bigger then. And they've got the tiniest little turnstiles, but I got stuck in the turnstile. I mean, lodged in there, right?
In West Ham.
No, in
Fulham.
Fulham, yeah.
Oh my God,
And I
man.
couldn't get out the turnstile. I was proper stuck. I mean, lodged in there, right? I was like, people going, "Come on, mate, come on!" And I was like, "I can't get out, mate." I swear on my life, right? The pressure built up so far behind me. I shot out there, you know, like a Hot Wheels car when you press that button, like that. I shot out there into a puddle, both feet into a puddle. It must have been that deep of freezing cold water, bro. I spent the rest of the evening like that, and we lost.
Oh, man.
They got a brand new stand there, though, haven't they?
Yep.
It's just-
Yeah, they have.
They have. And Fulham are looking good. They are looking good.
You got them Monday, innit?
We've got them Monday. That's going to be
Oh, Fulham.
another
How many
big.
points behind us are they? They're not
far.
behind, are they?
Not far. Air Ace in the super chat said, "Look how important Kulusevski and Bentancur are for Spurs." I mean, we've known that since last January. How important they've been for us. They've been absolutely pivotal.
Fulham just below you, by the way.
They were unbelievable signings last January. That's the best January window we've ever had.
They were the spark plug to get us getting top 4 last year.
Definitely got us over the edge, and missing them for the first half of the season has not
Costly.
been good for us at all. Second half, what are we expecting to see from City?
Well, there's got to be a reaction. innit?
Onslaught.
I mean, they've been shocking.
Substitutions from Pep?
Defensive substitution. Diaz, Cancelo on. De Bruyne's got to come on. I think they'll come on after. Yeah.
Their
Who else?
problems are defensively, though, aren't they?
Yeah, defensively, yeah.
If
Ruben Diaz is on the bench.
Yeah, is that as
That's
well?
what I said.
He's just coming out from injury, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. But they ain't in the position to be leaving out the De Bruyne's and although I know we're saying Tottenham are in a bad run of form, they're still not a bad side.
Plus,
Spurs.
as well, City should know, right? Tottenham is the one team that comes to the Etihad and beats them. They did it last year.
We do it all the time.
Wasn't it the year before? Was
so
it a draw,
baffling,
or you
man.
beat them the year before?
No, we
one
beat
in
them.
six. 1 in 6.
City have won 1 in 6.
Yeah.
The last time they beat us, it was 6.
At
Was
the
it
Etihad.
6-0 or 6-1? It was
Yeah,
a
so
while
it's
ago.
Some
It
nonsense.
was a long time ago.
3-0 the last time. That
They
was in
beat
February
us.
21.
Oh, no, I'm trying to think. The last time that was a big one was like 6, but they haven't beaten us at home either. We beat them. We did the double over them last season.
Can't believe it, man.
You've won 3 in the last 6. They've won 1. And there's been 2 draws.
Madness.
And then even in the Champions League that time, remember?
Yeah.
Nuno
beat
won there
Nuno
opening
won.
day, and Jose won there as well. I remember with Bergwijn.
Yeah, so
And we
you know what I
won
mean.
last
If you
season.
know that, you can't be leaving players out, can you? You got to go full pelt.
Arguably, this is their toughest game of the season, weirdly enough. But anyway, Ethan said Fulham are too middle class to have a rivalry. I mean, everyone likes Fulham, don't they? But I don't understand why they hate us so much. Todd Miller said, not being able to troll Arsenal fan channels hasn't been good for my mental health.
Todd Miller, yeah, hold on, wait a minute. Hold that chat. That guy, he's the Chelsea fan.
Yep, always up
Todd
for Chelsea.
Miller, always on air, always giving stick. Where you been, bro? Where you been, Todd? Big
Yeah.
up yourself, Todd, man. Big up.
Let us know what you think's going on at Chelsea. We're actually going to be talking about Chelsea in the second half as well. About to get back underway. We'll see what's going on.
Can you hold
with
on to
Pep.
this now?
Can we hold on to this? Can City get back into it? Can they make it 3-2 and win? Let's see.
Tottenham Conte masterclass so far.
Wouldn't call it that. wouldn't call it that.
The thing is that this suits Tottenham, innit? Try and catch them on a counter-attack.
Yeah, I mean, did you see anything from Son as that half went on?
Well, he played that switch pass for the second goal,
Yeah.
didn't he? That initially started the counter, but it's been the same, to be fair.
Want to see Richarlison come on?
I've said for weeks now, even though he's not really got any goals in the Premier League himself, and it's kind of more the Brazilian form is what we're looking at, but just to give us some fresh
ideas, fresh blood up front.
Honesty, yeah.
Have City made any changes?
Doesn't look like.
Doesn't look like they have.
Mind you, there's only a few players. I think. Oh no, there they come now. I think there's a few
Looks
missing.
like Sane.
Yeah, it did, actually.
Did you realise, right, if City lose this year, they would have lost 3 games in a row.
I wonder when the last time that
When was the
happened.
last time that happened?
Don't know if anyone knows.
Southampton, Man United at the weekend, and
Yo,
this.
that's crazy.
If anyone else knows when the last time Manchester City lost 3 in a row, or if you can find out,
That'd be mad, innit?
put that in the.
That'd be mad, man.
I don't think it would definitely be pre-Pep era. I don't think
Probably
that
Sven
happened.
Goran Eriksson days or something.
Must be.
3 games in a row they would have lost if they don't pull this back.
Just want to ask you a quick question, Fuad. Does this win detract from the stuff that's been going on this week with Tottenham?
Hell
Does
no.
it relieve the pressure off Daniel
Hell no.
Levy?
No, at all. For me, if anything, this is just another one of those kind of, it's the omen of, we always beat Spurs at City at the Etihad, sorry, but it's nothing.
People have
for
short
me.
memories,
It's
though.
one game, literally.
No.
It makes no difference. It doesn't bring us any closer to the ambitions we had at the start of the season. Nah.
But you
It's
say
a nice win.
you say
It's
that,
a
right?
nice
And
win. It's a confidence booster for the boys. Probably Conte gives him a little bit more
Time.
gusto in the dressing room for his contract negotiations. But nah.
So
Not in my eyes.
all jokes aside, right? As you know, forget the doing the Arsenal a favour bit for a minute, right? That you are in 5th place. Yeah, it would be an important win because you know you that would lean you only 3 points behind, 2 points behind Newcastle in 4th. And 3 points behind Manchester United in 3rd.
Yeah.
And actually, you know what? If you win tonight, you're 3 points behind Manchester City.
Listen,
3 points behind Manchester City.
it would be an important win,
So
of course, in the grand scheme of
remember
things, but
you're still trying to get into the top 4. That's got to be the priority. That would have been the priority at the start of the season. Ooh. If you even looking at it, you take out the obviously, right, it's what's compounding your things at the moment is Arsenal doing well, right? Take Arsenal out of it. You're still at the start of the season. If Tottenham got into the top 4, that would still represent a good season.
Yeah, but it's not actually just
So
about. It's not just about that
nothing to
anymore.
do with Arsenal.
It's the Arsenal thing is just annoying on top of it, and it's unnecessary annoyance. But this is not just about getting into the top 4 anymore. This is about having a style of football that's enjoyable to watch, not losing all the time, not playing well for the first half of games. It's not just that. I mean. And, the feeling of potentially not wanting to get top 4 is more a lesson for the board. But then how many times do they need to learn that lesson? We finish 4th, we finish 5th.
Yeah, but Abbi, the aim of at the start of the season is to get into the top 4 for Tottenham. But it's enabling
the club.
And
it's enabling them.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, right, you will be, if you win tonight, you're 3 points behind
But this is what I mean
both
about
City and Manchester United.
Changing the narrative. Because then this is what people will do to change the narrative.
Well, listen, Nicky would give, he would give his left arm to be
Why
in the
don't
same
you have Daniel
position.
Levy?
Daniel Levy?
Don't you, Nick?
Yeah, you can come if he wants.
Have him. No worries, because this is the problem. It differs from the actual problems that go on.
Try having David Sullivan.
Well, this is one, another one.
It's David Sullivan. I mean, there are literally
Can't say they didn't back you in the summer.
Football clubs that won't deal with David Sullivan. Tottenham won't deal with David Sullivan.
There's clubs that don't deal with Daniel Levy. Loads of clubs that don't deal with Daniel Levy. Anyway, super chats from Matthew said, Fergie used to say you can't lose more than 6 games if you want to win the league. This would be City's 4th defeat. Emmanuel said only 3 points between 2nd and 5th. It's absolutely insane. Another super chat from Dubois, Fernando, who said, why couldn't City be this bad all the times that Liverpool wanted to win the league? Congrats to Arsenal if they win the league, but this is a bad City team. True.
Liverpool fans are for you.
Here they go, changing the narrative again now.
What do you mean?
It's a bad City team, so that's why Arsenal are doing well. I've heard things like that.
You just changed the narrative.
Does it matter?
We've lost 1 game this season.
No, but does it matter if they're a bad team or not?
Yeah, we never told them to be bad.
Goated in the super chat said United draw, Casemiro suspended, Tottenham lead 2-0, Trossard signs. At this rate, Jesus will start on Sunday.
Like that one. Look at the bench, man.
Foden,
it's just too good to be true.
That bench is insane.
There's
something's round the corner, I'm telling you.
Yeah, there's no way.
I don't know what it is.
Unless you've made a deal with the devil somewhere. Like this is...
We're God bless, man.
Everything is going way too smooth for you.
No, we're going to have our moments.
There's going to be like a Partey injury.
They'll draw
4
a lot of
losses
games.
in a row.
Wish an injury on us, See?
I didn't wish nothing. I said I can foresee.
There's going to be a Partey injury. You know what I mean?
Feel sight. Not foresight.
Remember when Liverpool, as I said that earlier, I go, we need a lot of luck with injuries. A bit like when Liverpool won it. Mm-hmm. We need an injury-free season, really, for the majority of our players.
I'm interested to see if you lose, how you bounce back. But you've got to be beaten, so.
Well, when we lost to Man United.
That was a while ago, though.
Yeah,
and to be fair, they played well in that game.
Did.
That was the
I haven't seen anyone play at the level that Arsenal have played this season.
Everyone's poor.
Arsenal have been unbelievable.
Arsenal taking advantage of a weak Premier League.
Unbelievable.
Haters, man. See? That's what I'm saying. That sort of stuff.
Like, from time you
that
got
sort of stuff.
You got Newcastle competing in the top 4. From time you got the worst Tottenham side in years competing in the top 4. You telling me that's not a weak Premier League? You got the worst.
I think that's disrespectful.
You got the worst Liverpool side we've seen in 5-6 years. You've got the worst
Liverpool have gone out and spent
Newcastle are where they are through merit. They've played very well this season. They've been a
good management.
Yeah.
Arsenal have been
above
superb.
expectations, though. Like nobody at the start of the season would have told me they saw Newcastle in this position. No. So just because they're there now doesn't mean
it's because
this is a weak Premier League season.
But they've done well. That doesn't make it a weak Premier League.
This is like the season when Leicester won it.
That doesn't make everybody win the league.
We did say this was going to be a weird one.
If you take advantage of that season, fair play to you. This is what you're supposed to do. Go
2-1.
And that's what they needed.
That didn't last
a goal
long,
in
did
the
it?
first 5 minutes of the second half.
Flapping about.
Now it's game on.
Julian Alvarez with the goal.
You know, David Moyes this week, he admitted on a podcast that he could have signed Alvarez.
Oh yeah, I read that on Stephen Bartlett's podcast.
Didn't he have Lingard on today as well?
Yeah,
spilling bare juice.
Yeah,
I need to watch that one later.
Let's look at this goal that Alvarez has scored defensively.
Look, 5 defenders ball watching.
5 defenders ball watching. Lloris pouncing.
Look at son.
Perisic.
Oh my God.
One.
If Lloris comes
Look
to
at
that, he's
Bentancur.
got to get that. He's got to be a
Lloris
better
again.
hand
Oh
to
my
that,
God.
yeah.
Oh, are we
Lloris,
blaming Lloris for that, or are we
Look,
blaming the defenders for that?
No, he's
Flapping
got.
the flap.
He flapped
If you're
at
coming
nothing,
out,
man.
You
claim
get to
that.
claim that.
Perisic, handball that, man. Where's your commitment?
Maybe get sent off.
Okay, it is
Well, that
Manchester
lasted long.
City 1, Tottenham 2. Super chat from Original Aqua R. He said, if we stay this clear, then beat City in Feb, we will be playing to win the league at the Etihad against City. I'm getting very ahead of myself now. The Riddler said, Nicky gave us an exclusive weeks ago that Moyes was sacked. What a fraud.
Hey, wait till tomorrow, man. If he's sacked tomorrow, I was the first one.
Are they going to sack him before the Everton game?
Before? No,
Well,
they won't sack him before.
Tomorrow's not Everton.
No, I won't sack him tomorrow.
What's the
no.
next exclusive you got for us then?
What do you mean?
So you got an exclusive for us?
No, I ain't got no exclusive. No, I'm never saying. Do you know what that was? Right, that was
Oh shit.
an idiot
Still
that decided he saw me. I was live, and he decided to text me a fake, like a prank.
No.
And stupidly, and I've never done this before. I don't really deal with like things like that, like in the know things like that, you know. But we do get told things, and a lot of the stuff from him has been like bang on. And he saw an opportunity to prank me, and stupidly I come out with it live on air, and I should have just waited until afterwards, checked my facts and everything else. And I got some real stick. I got abuse for that, you know, like bad abuse.
Not 2.
Oh, it's
2-0
2-2.
Haaland.
Oh, there we go.
Haaland 2-0. 2-2, sorry. Just like that. How long did that take? 8 minutes and they're back in the game.
Glad they had a chat with
Maybe
themselves.
City weren't as bad after all. 2-2.
Jesus.
Bloody hell. And on both of them, shocking defending. Again, this is so poor. Oh, my God. What kind of defending is that? Is he off?
He's on.
He's on. Haaland again with a goal. 2-2.
Same shit.
Mad.
Different.
Flipping hell, you lot are crap, man.
Langley.
Jeez.
Anyway,
Perisic.
Super
watcher.
Tottenham told you, always doing you a
This,
favour.
and this is why you're asking why we can't play 4 at the back. Now they see why.
Play 10
Live
at
and
the back,
direct.
10 at the back.
Coming again.
Anyway, we are
How can
now
you be
level.
2-0 up? How can you be 2-0 up, right? And 8 minutes into the second half is 2-2.
I don't know, because Manchester
'Cause
City,
it's
this could be
the
the game
history
where they go on a
of the
run. This could
Tottenham.
be the game where they get themselves over the
Look
line.
at
They
Brentford.
go on a run.
When Brentford got the lead at City, they just, boom, locked it down. 3-0.
Yeah, but you've got to be able to defend for that. Good
Jesus
half-time chat.
Christ, man. 2-0 up.
It's irrelevant in 10 minutes.
Oh, God.
Oh.
3.
Here comes
Oh.
Cut it
standing
back.
off.
Look at Gunnar on the edge.
There it is.
How do you get that crossing?
God knows.
The boys heard Arsenal were going 8 points clear and they said, hold on a
minute.
second.
You know what? We'll do our own work. We'll do our own work, man. You know what I mean? We're not. I should have known better to have left it to you lot. You know what I mean? We'll do it ourselves.
I told you, don't ever count on us for anything. Shall we have a chat about Chelsea?
Look at that!
In a moment.
Oh, man.
Is that
Please,
Lloris?
Not this guy,
Skills.
please.
No!
Oh my God.
I can't have Grealish, please.
It's like a schoolboy.
Look at
Did you say
Højbjerg.
use your
Look,
head?
he's going to fight his own player.
Use your head. I need to see a replay of that.
You lot.
Pose.
Look at that.
God. Yeah, that narrative.
Oh my.
Do you know what this is like? This is like,
Look.
this is like when I play my brother on FIFA.
Yeah, this is.
Oh! That should have gone in.
I wouldn't worry. Anyway, let's talk about Chelsea, shall we? Because Chelsea's spending has been insane. And I believe they signed someone else today, didn't they?
Yeah.
Signed someone else today. They've spent in the most, I think, that Liverpool had spent in the last 10 years or something like that.
6 years, I think.
6 years? Was it 6 years? Whatever it was, five or so years. And they've spent that in the last 6 months. How are they managing to do this?
Do you know what? I was reading about this today. It's something like £680 million. If they don't get into the Champions League, they are in big trouble.
Surely with FFP.
Yeah, big trouble. They've got to get into the Champions League. To spend this sort of money now, obviously they're not going to know that they're going to be in this position in the summer. But to spend this sort of money now to keep on adding to that, I'm telling you now, look, as it stands now, you can't rule anything out because football's a funny game and people can go on runs and these signings can possibly, send them on a little run. But if they don't get into the Champions League, they are in big trouble. I don't know what. I mean, I say big trouble. They banned Manchester City for it from the Champions League, then reinstated them. They didn't really see any trouble, did they? But it'd probably be a big fine. But they could find themselves on the back of some transfer embargoes.
They've already had that as well, Chelsea.
Yeah, they've had it already. Yeah,
I don't think they will though because of the length of the contracts they have.
Yeah, they've
Is that
been
the way
using.
around it?
So basically,
the way around it is their.
It's basically because they're given 7.5, 8-year deals. The transfer fee is divided over
the 8 years.
Yeah.
So Mudryk, essentially, who they've spent 100 mil on, let's say, it's divided over the 7.5 years or whatever it is. So there's
still dangerous games to play. There's still dangerous games to play when you're giving every player 7-8 year deals on that big money. If they don't work out, how many players could just turn around and say, well, I'm not going anywhere. I'm here for 8 years now. You've got me for 8 years on 400 grand a week.
Chelsea are known to kind of
they've
assets. They've still got Baba Rahman on the books, for good's sake. So
what they're doing is they're loading up a problem for later on down the line because, yes, they have spread these contracts over long times to avoid, the financial fair play. But like you said, what if Mudryk don't work out? He's there for 8.5 years. You know what I mean? Then how do you get rid of him? What's he worth?
What they'll do is they'll loan him out, and then if he does well on loan, they'll capitalise on that, like what Chelsea always do, to be fair. I think...
I was just going to read the super chat on that.
Yeah,
Adrian said Chelsea have also sold 600 million in the last 5 years, but keep going to the reports talking about amortisation. There's a big clear out coming as well.
And that's what I was going to say. I think where they've almost shortchanged themselves a little bit is now they've got an overstock of players. So it's going to be essentially harder to move. Because if a buyer is coming to buy Pulisic, for example, I know he's your 6th choice winger. I know he's clogging up your book, so you have to.
I'd take him.
So you can't, but they're not really in a strong position.
No,
if
that
makes sense. So that's what they've done. They've almost done the signings before they can clear out, which I think is a bit backwards. But I think if they
put
do
themselves
sell,
in a poor negotiating position by doing that sort of thing. Because look, I would take Pulisic to West Ham. We need a bit of pace. He's got pace. Yeah, he's not a bad player. He's not great, but he's not a bad player. Hudson-Odoi, is another one.
Ooh.
Spurs coming forward again.
Opening up, man.
Come on, Kulu. Go on, one more. Hit it.
Go on!
Oh! Post! Off the bar. Oh, my God. Should have scored that.
But, you could literally go to them and say, I'll give you 5 million quid for him. And they could turn around and go, nah, it's not happening. You go, take it or leave it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, you're in that position.
Literally.
Because they've got to get people off the books. I think they're taking a big gamble, Chelsea. I don't see Chelsea ever getting back to the levels that they were.
Do you not think?
No.
I agree.
I think they're spending so much.
I think it's going to be difficult for them.
And I do think a lot of their signings, if you do look at it, it is under 25s. Outside of Oba and Koulibaly, they are signing young. So
players,
I think there is as a scattered gun as it looks, I do think there is some kind of plan of basically we sign young and we build for the future. I just don't know if it will come to fruition within the next couple of years. That's the thing. I think it's a real long-term project. And Chelsea fans have never in their lives been used to a long-term project.
That was very lucky for City, man.
That was lucky. I mean, they haven't been challenging kind of at that top level. And we've said that they should have been in the last few seasons when we looked at what they signed. They've kind of disappointed.
They won the Champions League.
Yeah, they have, and I think that's probably the only real saving grace that Chelsea have had, because they haven't been challenging for titles since Conte was there.
No.
And they've spent a lot of money since Conte was there, and of course they do have a Champions League to show for it. But of course that is more than enough to show for it, first and foremost. But are you expecting Chelsea, the money they've spent, to be challenging in the way that Liverpool had been challenging, in the way that City have been challenging? We were expecting more last season.
Of course you expect Chelsea.
And this season.
Even though they won the Champions League, in the league they've been poor now for quite a few seasons. I don't know, man. They just seem to have a scattergun approach.
Yeah, sort of kiddie candy shop.
It doesn't seem to be much of a plan to me. That's what it seems.
It's like they're trying to spend their way out of their position.
And they'll go and buy a player, which when they buy them, they'll be like, oh, great signing, this is the signing, like with Koulibaly, for instance. And then next minute, it's like, oh, he's not very good. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'd take Koulibaly.
To be honest with you, it couldn't happen to a better club, in my opinion, because they're the ones that have basically started all this billionaires.
Pass the ball,
It's inflating the market.
Yes,
now as well.
they've inflated the market for 20 years now. And, let them have some pain, in my opinion.
The pass was on about three times before that. My goodness.
But
Emerson Royal down the middle.
But that is the thing. Koulibaly, what a great signing he is. 6 months down the line, get him out of the defence. Sign someone else. That's what they're like. Kai Havertz was going to be the next.
Timo Werner.
Yeah, Timo Werner, who's going to be the next this, the next that. No, it doesn't quite work out for them, and they're just like I think that's been the club's approach for the last 20 years. He's like, don't work. Look at the goalkeeper. They paid £75 million for a goalkeeper.
Most expensive keeper in the world.
Yeah, but not just they've got Mendy and Kepa. Both of them were super expensive. But that's the thing. If you have a luxury where not many teams have that you can buy, and if it doesn't work out, that it's fine. You can just go and buy someone else, spend another 100 million. Teams like Tottenham, for example, and also I'd say Arsenal and West Ham don't have that type of energy.
With all the money they've spent, with all the money they've spent over the years, right? Who's their best player right now?
Who, Chelsea?
Yeah. Who's their best player?
Thiago
What was
Silva.
that?
Thiago Silva.
No.
Oh
my God.
Oh
my God. Free.
What a finish.
Nice. 3-2.
First of all, I want you to see the defending, first of all, at the start of that goal.
No, they're ready to unpan at every opportunity.
And then, again, Harry Kane can't believe it. He's off, man. He ain't staying there.
No, he's
2-0 up. And in a matter of 20 minutes, they've pulled it back. Look at this. Look at this here. Look at this defending there. Is that Perisic?
No.
Awful.
He's been cooked on all 3 goals.
And then at the near post, Lloris. Near post. Look at this. Near post, Lloris gets done. Oh, my God. This guy's rubbish, man. We'll do it ourselves, don't worry. Did catch a little nick, but still.
My God. I honestly.
From 2-0 up.
He's got to be dropped.
From 2-0 up.
And I'm not just blaming him. That is also the defence. But my God, he's got to be dropped.
What was Perisic?
Play Fraser Forster. Adrian said, equally, Fuad, if you sell first, people know you have money. Look with Diaby and Arsenal.
But then it's a case of you
Jorginho.
are in a position to negotiate. Like Newcastle, everybody knows they have all the money in the world. However, they haven't been stupid. They've been signing smart.
Yeah, they have. They've done
so
their
it's
business
a case of you leave yourself in a position of strength. It's like now you're not in a position of strength.
Chris says...
How do you lot put up with this, man? Every week.
Breadstick.
You lot are crap,
Because I told you, I don't care.
Shit.
I have disassociated.
2-0 up, right? And within 20 minutes of the second half, right? You went in at half-time, scored. Within 20 minutes of that, you are 3-2 down.
Do you know why? Because there's some things that are inevitable in life. And Tottenham conceding is inevitable. So why would I even start to think we might win this game unless the clock was 90 plus
Honestly,
5.
man.
You are mad.
Shocking.
Oh, Cecil's in the chat. He's calmed down, just stating that Lloris is shit. Correct.
He's near poster.
Nicky, Chris says, what's your thoughts on West Ham being in the Championship for next season?
I don't mind. I honestly don't mind. You know,
Take us to the
people
Championship,
talk to me as if it's.
At least we'll win some silverware.
You know, it's not.
Might
We
not
would.
win
I don't
that.
think we would. That's the problem.
don't
I
think we would
think we
either.
would stay down there. But I'll tell you what I would do. I'd take a season without VAR all day long, even if we went down. But that's the thing with us. We've been down. We've been down. We've been up. We've been
You won't
down.
go
We've been
down.
up. I don't think we'll go down now. No, not with Ings. I think Ings gets a few goals, but if it does, I'll still be there. I'll still be outside doing fan cams against Luton and that. You know what I mean?
Crazy trips.
Bloody hell.
Robbie, are you surprised though? Honestly,
I'm surprised at that.
Are
No,
you
I'm
actually surprised.
Listen,
by
I'm
us conceding
surprised.
3
I'm
goals in the manner
surprised.
that we have.
No, I'm surprised you're 2-0 up. 2-0 up. I know that caught a little nick. He's still supposed to save
Brother,
that.
I don't care.
Still supposed to save that.
Yes.
You're a top keeper, man. Well, he should be a top
World
keeper.
Cup winning hype.
I think he's worse than Karius was.
At the moment, he is. No, he's better
I'm
than
not saying
Karius,
as
but
a
at the
keeper,
moment,
he's a better keeper.
he's shown a lot of Karius traits.
Historically, but I'm saying
those 2 goals in the Champions League. I swear to man.
I
If
feel
I'm
sorry
like
for
a
Karius.
Liverpool fan, I don't think in my soul.
I think that Lloris's form lately is worse than Karius's, and Karius was poor. Remember Gomez at the start? Remember Heredia
I hear it
Gomez?
to a degree, yeah.
Heredia Gomez for us at the start obviously turned out to be okay, but again, Gomez at the start, this form. And
That
you talk
was-
about
that
us going
was
to the
bad.
Championship. We would not win the Championship. We'd never get back out.
Like Newcastle, isn't it? Win the Championship, come back up.
Yeah,
Get
we
a
wouldn't
big
come back
takeover.
out. London Nomad said Chelsea and Spurs goalkeepers letting Arsenal down. Their best attempts to stop Arsenal by these teams. Yeah.
2-0 up.
Oh, it's so embarrassing, man.
Has your feelings changed at all since the start? You came in here a little bit positive, and I thought that's so sweet.
No, I'm not really positive, but I didn't
You
come
still,
in
no, do you
positive.
know what?
I said
You
we'd
still
lose
had,
3-1.
but you still had a glimmer of hope.
No,
I
I just
saw it in
didn't
your
want
eyes.
us to lose.
I
that's the
saw it
thing.
in your eyes. You had
No, I
some
said we'd
hope.
lose 3-1. I didn't have any hope for this game. But the thing is, I don't know. You just feel like Conte's almost in free fall at this point. As in, if he feels like he's not going to sign a new contract, if he feels like the board aren't going to back him, I don't know.
He'll walk.
Games like this, I would love it if he knows he's not going to sign. Look at this defense.
Oh my God.
I mean,
City just brought them up about 6-0.
I would-
Serious. Now I've switched into the other mode now. Now I don't care.
Now you want annihilation.
Yeah, annihilate.
I would walk if I was Conte, because this is ruining your reputation. And I'm not saying he's not to blame. He is to blame for some of this, but
for all parties.
it's not working out. Cut your losses. My man's sitting there at home waiting to come back. Oh my God.
I can't lie to you.
No, but you say that. Look at the mistake that Perisic
I'm
made.
sorry.
He's been cooked on all 3
Look at
goals,
the mistake
so I
that
can't even say
Perisic
it.
made.
Yeah, but if you thought he was getting cooked, wait for this barbecue. I'm not joking.
Playing left
Waiting
wing
for
back.
this barbecue.
Perisic, is he
my
playing
God.
left wing back, Perisic?
Who, Perisic? Yeah.
Barbecue,
Yeah.
Left wing back.
barbecue chicken royale.
Barbecue chicken alert.
Oh God.
Jesus, look at that. Simple, just simple basics, man. What must Harry Kane think? You know what I mean? When you're
Why did I sign
A
a
player of his
Why did I sign
quality.
a 5-year contract?
a player of his quality, you're just thinking to yourself, what am I doing?
Well, in
here?
fairness to him, 5 years ago we were still looking all right. We were at 20. It was 2018. We needed a rebuild. He probably thought it was coming. Like
No,
we
but
all
you know,
did.
like I have to admire him, right, in a way, because on a night like tonight, imagine if that was looking like Ronaldo and them, man, they just walk off the pitch. Say, nah, man. You know, innit? Ronaldo would be like, yeah, I'm a gun, you know. I mean, can't put up with this foolishness now. Yeah.
Well,
Both sides have defended
I'll be very,
poorly.
very interested to see what happens after this game with Conte, because depends. I mean, he's got most of the contract. Sure, he doesn't need the full amount of the 20 million.
I'm like 6 months.
You know, it's probably just
Don't need the
cut,
payday.
cut your losses. I mean, Daniel Levy has sat people during a match before.
Mate,
Remember?
just let
Martin
this club
Jol.
fall into the abyss, because that's what it
Did he?
deserves.
It's got,
Sacked him during a match?
he sacked Martin Yol during a
Half-time.
UEFA Cup match,
Yeah,
wasn't
half-time.
it? UEFA Cup. That was mean.
What?
He didn't deserve
Rude.
that. Really rude
For
to
a man
Martin
who
Yol.
finished 5th place twice when you were languishing 8th, 9th, 7th.
You know, still had.
What, he didn't come out for the second
tinier.
half?
No. Obviously,
he was
finished
allowed
the
to
game
finish
and
the
everything,
game.
But
Yeah.
by the
Oh,
end
I
of the
wouldn't
game
have.
press
The game's
conference, he
over,
knew
mate.
he was sacked.
Pack up your bags, man.
It was literally that. Oh, that's a recipe.
To be
for
fair,
disaster,
right,
that.
when we went down the last time, they sacked, what is his name, the old Chelsea manager? Looks like a frog.
All right.
Who do we have
Who?
in charge?
Avram
Grant.
Chelsea manager that looked like a fraud.
Avram Grant.
That narrows it.
That's
Oh,
a foul,
Avram Grant.
Avram Grant, yeah.
Oh, shit. Now you say it.
They sacked him, yeah. We went down. We lost the game to Wigan, yeah. This is the day we went down. They sacked him, and he went to get on the coach. Went, no, make your own way home.
Jeez, that's cold.
And the players had to turn around and go, nah, he's coming back with us.
That's wrong. At least get the coach home.
That's cold.
Elijah in the super chat said expressions, reactions, and chill post match for sure. I'm
Oh,
sure
Lord,
X
imagine
must be
this.
going mad.
ringing them.
40 side said Robbie, do you think Arsenal will go out and try and get a midfielder or
I
hold
hope
out
we
to
do.
get Rice?
I hope we do.
All right, you call X and then we'll have a chat about Declan Rice
Actually,
after.
let me see this attack first. See if you can pull one back.
I doubt it.
See what Son can do.
And Dankbeat wants to say, wants you to finish your Chelsea thoughts on your Chelsea's best player.
And ball.
Who was your best player? They're waiting.
Best player for
You were talking about Chelsea saying who's Chelsea's best player been?
Oh,
You can't remember.
no, I can remember. Who's Chelsea's best player? What I said, with all the money that they've spent, who's their best player?
Thiago Silva.
Mount.
No. Reece James.
I'm not playing though.
Reece James. No, but that's their best player.
I agree with that, I agree
How much
with
did
that.
he cost? Nothing. He came through their system when that year when they had to give youth a chance because they weren't able to spend no money, right? That's when you had him, Mount, all those guys came through,
Gallagher.
right? So it just goes to show, you know what I mean? It's not always just about going out there and trying to buy instant success. Conte can learn from that as well. Build something.
Yeah, but our academy hasn't developed anything in years.
Which is a shock because you've got an excellent academy. I mean, you've got all the
Because
facilities.
you've got managers that aren't bothered
everything.
about it. You've got, again, this goes
Because
back
they
to the
don't
time.
dip into that and don't give those kids a chance.
You're going back to managers who do give that a chance, and who was the last one that wanted to give that a chance? Pochettino.
But Chelsea's academy. I mean,
Their
when you look
academy's
at the
great.
calibre of the players that have come out of it, Lukaku, De Bruyne, Salah, Rice, they'll come out of Chelsea's academy.
Salah didn't come out of Chelsea's academy. He came
Well,
from Basel.
he was there young, like they had these young players that they could have developed. Salah and De Bruyne a couple of years ago were the best players in the world.
Yeah.
And they come through Chelsea's academy, never got a chance, got sold off.
Crazy, though.
It isn't always about, as you say, there's too many football fans that get sucked into, we need this, go and buy this, go and buy that. Sometimes, even with Kane, I remember people telling me Kane, when he came through the Tottenham academy, saying he'll never make it in the Premier League.
Well, he went on loan a lot of times, Harry Kane, before he was given that
really?
chance. And I remember I was at that game. Were you there against Villa?
Yes.
Villa away with Kane.
Look,
And
Son's in. What's he going to do?
Ah.
Chicken?
Fluffed it, man. These two.
oh my God! Simple ball, Son. Simple ball.
Go on, Chicken, man. Go on, Chicken.
Yeah, it was.
Chicken Royals had a good game.
My guy can't even pass the ball anymore.
Cross it! There's too many bodies in there, man.
What is that? What is that?
Ramiro.
Harry Kane was given that because I think we had Soldado
Stinking
and
the place
did we
up
still
and
have
Adebayo
Adebayor,
being a mercenary.
and it was terrible, and we were losing at Villa, and then I think it was Poch's fourth or fifth game, and he was having a bit of a crap start to the thing, and he thought, we are probably going to get sacked after this game. And then he thought, let's bring on Harry Kane. I think the crowd were calling for him. They'd seen him in the Europa League.
Yeah.
And he
Europa
came
League
on.
was where he scored.
Basuma's
Yeah,
on.
that was where he scored. And he came on. And
Basuma's on for Bentancur, sorry.
yeah, that's probably about right. Basuma's on for Bentancur. Yeah, he came on and he scored that deflected free kick. And since that day, Harry Kane has been on free kicks. And it never even went in from him. But and that was literally what saved their job. And it's also born Harry Kane from that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Look at Saka at Arsenal. I mean, sometimes give the young guys a chance, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And Arsenal are a club that do that.
Emerson Royale sounds like a burger at Burger King. Come down and get the new Emerson Royale.
Straight from
$2.99. Only at Burger King.
99p.
Yeah, 99p.
I wouldn't give you that.
49p with a discount code.
Jared Dickinson said, in 6 months, Chelsea have spent the same as it cost Everton to build a new ground, £500 million. Chelsea are a small club. Come on, you Gunners. That is a bit mad that they've spent the same amount as a football stadium. That is mental.
Probably our net spend over the last 10 years, I bet.
A wicked stadium as well.
Yep. But it will probably be in the Championship. Todd Miller is back, and he said, when healthy, Reece James is Chelsea's best. Chris said, Nicky talks about Chelsea like an ex-girlfriend that cheated on him.
I
Do you have anything
listen,
to say?
Yeah. I don't like that. Chelsea were the ones that started this domination of money of football. I think they're one of the clubs that have ruined the game, to be quite honest with you. They've overinflated transfer fees. I think they've not only ruined the English game, but they've ruined the world game with the way they were spending money. And I hope they suffer.
London Nomad said, how does Conte, a defensive-minded, park the bus manager, not set up to defend the 2-0? Surely he needs to get questioned on that.
I'm sure he wouldn't expect that in 10 minutes.
But you know what I mean? The thing is, I'm even going to defend Conte a bit here.
Is he a park the bus manager though?
Because, you know, the defending there was shocking, man. Those are individual errors.
Always.
You know what I mean? Those are individual errors that are just appalling. As a matter of fact, like, a lot of the goals in this game, 3 out of the 4 goals have been
errors.
Individual errors.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, because Edison,
Lloris, Perisic, Lloris.
I think they've all been individual errors, haven't they?
Oh, chicken right trying to do
goodness
it.
me.
He ain't actually played bad, you know, chicken.
Bruv, stop gassing it up, Robbie. You can sign him if you want.
Put it this way, I've seen him have worse performances.
He ain't been the worst player on the pitch.
That's true.
Lloris is. We have done a poll that says sell Lloris now. 77% said yes, no 22%. I assume those 22% are Arsenal fans. There is someone that also said this woman, I assume you mean me, is shameless that I haven't cheered my team on because I want things to change and I will not keep enabling it. I will not keep giving my money to the same machine that doesn't want to give me anything back. Because I've done that for over 20 years and I am sick of it.
Fuad.
Yep.
If Emerson Royale was a burger at Burger King, what would be in it?
It would be bun and pickle.
What is it?
Just bread and pickle.
Bread and pickle.
It'd be a bit of falafel for me, bro.
Just
That is Richarlison and Langley are going to be coming on. Number 12 Royale is coming off. Going to take Son off.
Compilation.
Oh, who else is he bringing off? Ben Davis. Ben Davis is coming off, so he's putting all 4 of them on.
I think that's crackers that he's been 3-2 down for 20 minutes. He's only just brought Richarlison on.
I think it's a change of shape as well now, because you've got Kane, Son, Kulusevski, Richarlison all on the pitch. So it'll probably be a 4-4-2.
Do you wonder why he didn't start Longley tonight? Because I don't think I think he's probably one of the better ones. If I had to pick a partnership, it would be him and Royale. Sorry, Romero.
Yeah.
Romero. Obviously
thinking,
not Royale.
Huh? I know you didn't mean to say that.
I did not mean to say that. I did not mean to say that. Romero.
But the thing is the issue I have with Langley is even if he plays well, we don't have an obligation or a fee included to sign him. So it just raises up the price. So I'm like, honestly, I couldn't give a toss about him. His development, I couldn't care if he plays well. I would rather him not even be at the club because I'm like, all we're doing is Barcelona a favour. The same way we did when we gave him 30 million for Emerson.
I was going to say, they don't do us many favours,
Exactly.
do they? Todd Miller said PSG voted them.
Oh, my Lord.
Ryan Sessler.
Haaland.
What is the meaning of this?
PSG
Tottenham.
voted the market, according to Todd. Pretty sure Chelsea did
Chelsea
it long
did.
before.
Chelsea did it long before PSG,
before.
man. Chelsea were the original dopers, man.
Yeah, long before. The Riddler said by supporting
Did the Galacticos
Spurs.
not do that?
Yeah, you
Did
could.
the Galacticos not get some blame to
Galacticos.
that?
Yeah, but I still think that you have
Yeah,
to.
that's true because they were using. They
were literally
little smart ways. To,
They were
getting money
winning
off.
as well.
They were getting money off of, the
Shirt
government
sales
basically,
and-
innit?
You think about it, they didn't win any league titles, or I think they won 1 league title during that whole Galactico era. They didn't win any Champions Leagues after 2001.
True.
So it's like, they really Hollywooded up football without
It's a fair
result.
point. It's a fair point. The Riddler says by supporting Spurs, Abbi, are you afraid you're going to age faster? I've aged so much. Let me
Look at
tell
that
you.
bench. Banana
Yeah,
silver.
you see my
already.
bags. Look at the
I'm
bags.
telling you, yeah,
Honestly,
see?
I age a lot. I used
I'm
to age
19, bro.
a lot. Yeah, I used to age a lot when I came.
Try supporting West Ham. I'm 16.
Fair enough.
Lil Peanut said, that's cute, Lil Peanut, said Robbie, Leandro Trossard has a medical tomorrow.
Yep.
Chris does not like you, Nicky.
Should be in the team for
That's all right.
for Sunday.
Chris said, Nicky, you don't know what you're talking about. Barca bought Coutinho for 140 million and Dembele for 120.
Yeah, but that's long before.
long time after Chelsea.
Long
after
after.
Chelsea. Here comes the fourth.
Oi, Sessegnon on recovery. Well done.
Yeah, that was long after. Chelsea been doing this for a long time, man. Let's be real. Abramovich, how long was Abramovich there? 20 years?
Yeah.
From the day he stepped in, man.
The game changed.
To the point where...
I respect your opinion, though, Chris. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. Man.
Yours is wrong, Chris, but just
No,
let you know.
it's not wrong.
10 minutes to go. It's probably going to be 4 now. I cannot believe. You know what? It's not that City can't come back from a 2-0. They do have that in them.
It's just the manner
But it's just the manner in which it's just like white flag time, man. You're 2-0 up. The manner of the goals.
I thought at half-time as well, I was thinking City need a goal
wide
early.
open.
Well done. I thought that was handball,
That's handball,
as well.
isn't it?
They're screaming for it.
Yeah,
That's definitely
he looks
handball.
guilty, man.
VAR's going to look
He
at
looks
that.
guilty as hell.
I think that was,
He looks guilty as that's handball.
the way
Man.
he
Pigeon,
turned
what are you
around.
doing?
Yeah, man. That's
Put his arm out.
That's silly. That
What,
is so
another
stupid.
self-inflicted look.
So stupid.
That
I
might
don't
just
think
be
he
on his
meant
shoulder.
that. I think that was the
But
shoulder.
you've got to put your arm. You can't put your arm out. Like
But he's
that.
jumping round. I think that's harsh.
I think that's handball.
I think that's really
No,
harsh.
it's not
That's
handball.
not
That's
a handball.
That's not handball. That's not
I
handball.
love how you're first
change
in
my
it.
mind.
Yeah, but he's jumping round.
Yeah, I'll
like
change my
that's
mind.
unfair.
I don't like it when players jump around with arms swinging wildly because I'm like, you know exactly what you're doing.
I don't think that's unfair. I think that's not a penalty at all. Carl Walker is coming on as well. Another super chat here from Ola, who said Nicky, United started it with the signings of Ferdinand and Berbatov. Chris also said we never bought anyone close to 100 million until Lukaku at Chelsea.
Yeah, but they bought. Come on, it's not.
I
Just
don't know how they can defend that.
It's not just about 100 million signings.
Chelsea
it's
fans are
about,
defending this.
It's about what the market value was at the time of players. You know, they signed some smart players pre-Abramovich, like Lampard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he was 11 million quid from us, but once he come in, they just started flinging money around like it was like it was nothing.
Sorry, I was talking to them fans on the phone.
City. Okay, well, Manchester City
I
are...
like that kid a lot, man. Rico
Rico
Lewis.
Lewis.
I like him a lot.
Yeah.
Man.
I'll tell you what they're singing now. Tearing Cockneys apart. They love that song, innit?
City obviously now back in the driving seat. That does kind of close the gap at the top a little bit, doesn't it? So they're 5 points behind you with this win. I know it's not over yet, but it's looking likely.
What is
What
going
is
on?
that,
Bloody hell,
honestly?
yo,
What is that? I just love to throw this microphone at that
honestly,
TV.
you lot are crap, man. Yeah, I'm just looking at the table. It would be 5
5
points behind,
points.
but
So-
they would have played a game more.
Yeah. Have you seen something in the second half from Manchester City that makes you think that the champions are still in there? They could
Yeah, well,
do
look,
this.
listen, they fought back from 2-0 down, and
Obviously, we're a
you
very
know.
different team to Tottenham, to Arsenal as a disclaimer. But,
yeah. But listen, if any team that comes from 2 down, you've got to give them a lot of credit. You know what I mean? They fought back to win the game. Well, it was looking like they're going to win the game. So you've got to give them a lot of credit for that, and that shows you that they're still fighting for this. And this is Man City, man. You look at the players they're bringing off the bench. Bernardo Silva, they haven't even brought De Bruyne on. So... But also, equally, I've seen a lot of things where, you can see that City are a team that can be beaten. Because had Tottenham been a bit more disciplined in their defending today, they could be having a famous win today.
Well, it's really a tale of kind of two halves for City, not so much Tottenham, because I didn't feel that they actually really deserved to be in front in the first half. It was more from the individual errors City had made, more than what Tottenham had created.
Yeah, but I didn't think City played well in the first half either, though.
No, that they hadn't played better,
know.
but they, again, like Tottenham didn't play well. Tottenham hadn't played particularly well in that first half. It's just capitalising on moments where
Capitalising on
City
mistakes,
had dropped the ball. So even though City hadn't been playing too well, they still have that ability to get themselves back into games and turn it on when they want to. And again, I felt last week in the Manchester derby that they were far better second half than they were in the first. And I think we've kind of seen that a few times so far of Manchester City. Even against Chelsea in that game where we watched them and we thought Chelsea looked much better in the first half on another watch along we did. Second half they look completely different. So
Yeah, listen, they're still going to be, they're still a force to be reckoned with.
I can't wait to see you play City. I'm really looking
that's going
forward
to be
to that
that's
game.
going to be a great game.
It's really going to be an interesting game, home and away. And I'm actually looking forward to a game against United as well.
We've actually got City after Man United in the FA Cup.
So you've got them like 3 times.
Yeah, we've got to play them 3 times. We've got them in the FA Cup at the end of the month, and then we played them in February, and then I think we played them the next month after that.
Wow.
So
Tottenham have been an absolute shambles
They're a
this second.
disgrace.
Absolute shambles,
They're an
man.
absolute disgrace. CSA Coco said, "The Don, are you happy about the new addition?"
yeah, I am. Sensible signing, and I'm glad that it looks like they're getting him in time so that we can have him on the bench, against Man United. So no, I'm very happy with that.
Okay.
And I'm sure he'll start in the FA Cup game at City.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah.
I would definitely think so.
And it gives a little rest to Martinelli, and it gives an option as well. You know what I mean? If they're not performing, you can bring someone on. So.
Well, we do have Champions League football that is coming back very, very soon.
Oh, is that a dig?
It actually wasn't a dig. We'll be out of that quick time before February's out. That'll be done and dusted. I was going to say, more to the point for Manchester City, their focus this season, would you not think is more leaning towards the Champions League than the Premier League?
Surely they've got to,
Where are you going?
With the money they've spent, with all they've done over the years, surely they've got to go for winning the Champions League now.
Yeah.
It's the holy grail for them. It's got to be.
Do you think he'll give up if he does? Do you think he'll quit and go somewhere else?
I don't know. He's got all he wants at City, hasn't he? You know, so
know.
why would you?
He took that. Where did he go? Was it Bayern Munich?
Bayern Munich, yeah.
He went Bayern, and then he took that year at sabbatical, didn't he?
Yeah, I think though. Don't you think though? At City, he's in charge. You know, ooh.
He's got all the tools,
on,
but he's
Give
also
us another one. One more.
He's also a man that I think likes a challenge.
Yeah, but what I look on it right is that
Don't
when you're in charge of like a club like Man City, he's in charge of everything.
Institution.
Right? Whereas when he was at Bayern, you know at Bayern there's always loads of different figures and that above you sort of thing. At Barcelona, you're definitely not in charge of you're in charge of the team and that's it. You're not in charge of transfers or nothing like that. But at City, he's in charge of everything. So why would you want to go anywhere when you're still successful? So
Well,
I don't know. I think maybe one day the stress, he might just say, "Oh, I've had enough." But
I could see it that if they did win the Champions League, he might go. He's won all there is.
where would he go to though?
Spain?
He might just
maybe?
chill for a
Spain
bit.
manager?
He might just want to have a break.
Something like that.
I just look at it and think, I mean, you go to Spain now, you're not going to have the control that you have here at Man City. You know
I mean, like international.
our international job.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But I think he definitely takes some time out. I mean, if you win the Champions League, you've
Go on.
won all
Cross
there
it.
is to win.
That was a poor cross by Kane. Should have done better with that. Should put it on the floor as well.
Everyone in the chat is saying you've got to call expressions. Matisse is trying to call him. Everyone's on it. Connor Cahill said, as the right and honourable gentleman Fergie once said, lads, it's only Tottenham. Thank you for that. Oh, you're actually calling expressions.
Yo.
What do you want, blood? Why is everyone trying to really fuck off? Fuck off. Fuck off. Hold on, wait. What do you want? What do you want?
Has he put you on hold?
Huh?
What do you want?
What's wrong with your team, man? 2-0 up.
But what's wrong with my team?
2-0. Oh, look at that. Look at that again. Look at that again. Look at this. Look at this. You lot of shit, man. You're fucking shit. Look at that.
I've been blocked. There ain't no nursery for you.
Look at that. 4-2. Errors. Individual errors. What's wrong with your team? Oh, my God.
What the fuck's Romero doing? What is he doing? Oh, my God.
He's just seen it.
Romero. The guy you lot tell me this guy's supposed to be good. Who was that? Was that Romero? Who's that?
Yeah, Romero.
That's not Romero.
Who's that? That's not Romero. Is that Lenglet?
That's Longley. That's Longley. That's Longley, guys.
You lot are rubbish, man.
Oh
You lot
my
are shit,
God.
I'm telling you. Honestly, man.
Also, Flappy over there as well. Any danger?
My God.
What's he trying to do? Narrow the angle?
Fuad. What's these men? Who are they?
I've been saying the same thing about these men every season.
Jesus.
I'm tired of this same
2-0 up.
These Lenglet,
2-0 up.
gas up, duds. Absolute duds, each and every one of them, man.
My God.
Let me tell you, I'm so annoyed that I have to go to that Milan game. I am so annoyed because purely out of the principle that I have paid money to go and do that, I will go. I do, but I paid the money, so I might as well go while I'm there.
Sell it.
To who? Who's going to buy it? What poor soul? What poor soul is going to want to do that? How can I sell them? I can't sell them my flight.
True.
Bloody hell.
Take a weekend
Just
in
go
Milan.
Milan, man. Don't
Yeah, I
even
was
go
gonna
to
say,
the
yeah,
game.
literally.
Just
I was
go
gonna say,
Milan.
sell
Sell
the match ticket.
You go
It's
Milan.
Valentine's Day.
Yeah, that's it.
Treat
Go,
yourself.
you know what I mean?
Treat
Go,
myself.
yeah, go, you know what I mean?
Love yourself by not going
Yeah,
to
yeah,
Spurs.
man.
Yeah? That's what you do.
That's going to be the Valentine's Day massacre.
Oh.
My
Fucking
God.
hell, you lot are shit. I'm serious.
Sophie's in the
I
chat.
can't believe that. I mean, when
Look
you
at
complain
that defending. Nicky,
I know, mate. I know.
that's pathetic. That is
Give me Craig.
Sunday
Give me
League
Craig
stuff,
Dawson.
man.
Craig Dawson is not as bad as this.
Sunday League.
Sophie Rose in the chat says, "Lol, Spurs, lol. I'm calling expressions too. 2-0 is
Everyone
always,
call expressions.
2-0 is
Everyone
always
I feel
dangerous.
if he weren't my brethren, I'd give out his number right now. But everyone to call him for this man.
Sophie said teams get too comfortable at 2-0. Fuad's looking like me, ATM. I mean, look, I don't think Spurs were comfortable.
2-0 up.
Carl Bates says Tottenham wish list. Marcos Llorente, Pau Torres. Yeah, we got none of those. We were looking at them.
Hold on, I'm being serious now. You think Conte might walk after this?
I am hoping
should.
so.
He should.
I'm very
He
much
actually
hoping
should.
so.
Not after a loss to City.
2-0 up.
I don't know.
MB said Scotch Bonnet FC had one job, some joke of a club. You man will always be in our shadow. We have to continue doing the job our way. You crack on. My job was done. Lil Yo-Yo said a wise man once said it's the history of the Tottenham. Yep.
That still
Listen,
makes me
if you're
laugh
sending
now.
these in to rattle me, I will never be any more rattled.
Look
than
at that
you
again.
gave me. Oh my
Look
God.
at that again.
Look at them all. Oh, my God.
You're lucky to get a foul for that.
My guy.
Jeez, man, you're awful.
This club is a tough watch, man.
I told you they shouldn't have paid £60 million for Richarlison.
Pigeon, he ain't scored one goal this season. You know that? He hasn't scored yet this season now.
Really?
Yeah.
No, he scored in the Champions League. Scored 2.
In the league, he's not scored a goal.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't it?
Clarifying it.
Oh, when I said they spent
Larissa scored more goals than him.
£60 million for him, and I said his goal scoring record.
Hear me?
That's what I said.
Larissa scored more than him.
That's the same thing.
Same amount.
Son.
Like, he's got a fucking trigger at this point, man. Just give the ball away, you bozo.
Where's Kane going then?
Son may have done that
Listen,
military
look,
service
it's
for
one of those things where I don't know why I'm still so angry because
I'm not. Throughout the
No,
stream,
we're
have
doing
you
the
heard
2-0
me
up.
scream or
You're
shout?
2-0
No.
up. You're 2-0 up, man. Come on, no.
Genuinely, Robbie,
They actually
I
gave
am
you hope
not
today.
surprised. The second the first goal went in, I said, if City score within the first 5 minutes, more than likely it's going to slide. I'm not surprised
do you
by
know
this.
what it is?
This team has a lack of mentality. This team has a lack
Yeah.
of spine, a lack of cojones. You see that in almost every fixture. The fact that we've gone 2-0 down or 1-0 down in the last 10 games says enough. The fact that last North
You'll be
London
2-0
derby,
up.
last North London derby at home, you could see how we played. This team don't have balls. We will take the 2-0 lead in a team against we have the Omen or we have their bogey team. And
There
they'll
we
still
go.
go and spank us because that's what this team is.
that is done, and you're absolutely right, Phil. I took the words out of my mouth. But it's one of those things where, on paper, you know that this is, you know the writing's on the wall, but you're still so angry when you watch the performance and the individual mistakes and the errors and the lack of tactical awareness and astuteness and just, these players just never showing pride for the shirt. And, just the whole club is absolutely in disarray, and I'm sick of being angry. I'm sick and tired of Tottenham Hotspur. You can clip that. Anyway, Manchester City 4, Tottenham 2. Unfortunately, Robbie, they did not come through for you. They are 5 points behind you.
Well, it was a win-win for me.
Was it?
Yeah, because, if you win, that's great for us. If you lose, it's still great for us because you're in the mud. So, but I feel it because I like you guys.
Listen.
Stop that.
I like it.
Robbie, please. The game is over now. You got to stop pretending.
I feel it for you two. But honestly, man, you lot, I have to be honest, you're rubbish.
Yeah.
How can you be 2-0? You know the thing about it, right? You're 2-0 up, and you've literally, out of those 4 goals, you've given them 3 of them.
They didn't even. When you look at how shocked they were when they were 2-0 up. They thought, how
He's
how
thinking
are
I'm
we
going.
there?
He's-
Listen,
how can Harry Kane?
I wish
Kane-
Harry Kane all the best.
Kane, for your mental health, leave that club fast.
He's got to go.
Get
He's
out.
got to go because he's way too good. Way too
4-2.
good. Super chats
For your
from
mental health, go.
Jeff Abrahams. Arsenal were just bad last year, and look at them now. Spurs could be in this position too to win a league at this rate. That's from a Liverpool fan.
Hey,
Thank
yo.
you. Thank you very much for your positivity. Connor Cahill said, think about all the money that could have been spent by Spurs on new players instead of a brand new stadium. That was a terrible decision. It wasn't, because you did have to move with the times. You had to get a new stadium. I would argue, instead of sacking managers all the time, the money we've spent on doing that could have been invested in.
Look, they've got 2 games in hand.
10 more years.
But
I'll
you
take
know,
that.
I would have loved to stay at White Hart Lane. But look, you do have to always upgrade your stadium.
Fulham beat you on Monday. They go above.
Fulham absolutely will beat us on Monday. S in the super chat said, has Son had the quickest fall off ever? Who else can you think of that's done that? I agree.
Dele Alli.
Yeah, but this is a golden boot winner. This is a player that's a golden boot winner. You know, the biggest drop off. And also Salah, you've got to bring Salah into that as well. Bring Salah into that equation. Salah's having a poor season.
The first half of
Yeah, but he still scored a load of goals.
He hasn't scored a load.
Last season, he was being called the best player in the world. The
Yeah, but
second half of
he
last
was,
season, people were saying,
Yeah, but he
Still has to- I'm not
scored a lot
saying
of
he's
goals.
And
it's
he's
not
still
as much
not
of
to
a drop
recover
off.
his form.
He hasn't had the form back. I can't think of a good username. I like that. Said, I'm convinced Spurs lost this game to ask to help when they realised that it would help
Yeah, but
Arsenal win.
even if they did that, you don't lose in that manner.
They didn't.
2-0 up.
Apex said, how am I not fuming? I am. I just am resigned to it and don't care anymore. So, yeah, I mean, anyone else have any closing arguments on this game? Anything you'd like to say?
Sell the stadium. Let Conte go. Let
who
Kane
they sell
go.
it to?
Sell the club.
To Haringey Council. Yeah?
What are they going to do with it?
Fob it back to the council, bruv,
I
yeah?
agree with that, man. Turn it into flats.
Better use to, with
You know what I
them.
mean? It's
Better use giving it some youth organisation, letting them play with it, bruv.
Turn it into flats, man, and some houses and that.
Some pretend football team
what you do,
taking up residence.
Sell the stadium, turn it into flats. Sell the training ground, turn it into properties down there in Enfield.
I'm game.
Right?
Let's do it.
Dissolve the club, right?
Let's do it.
Stop the pain that you are inflicting upon the fans of Tottenham day in, day out. Get rid of it.
I'm down.
Right?
I'm down.
Sell it.
I'm down.
I'm down.
Right? Because, you know,
Why don't you buy it? Why don't you buy it and build us the new DR studios over there? Yeah?
I wouldn't build it there. It's cursed. It's cursed, man. You know, it'll probably be about 5 views after that. You know what I mean?
He wants to be making money.
I mean, how can you be 2-0 up and cruising? Remember, the second goal just on half-time, going into that change room,
See how
the
it's-
manager must be saying, Conte, in his defence, saying, yo, guys, when you scout it now, just look after the ball. Hold on to this. The goals are all self-inflicted. Look at that last goal from Lenglet.
And if you,
Lenglet, who is he? Who are these man? Where you find these players from?
bro, these are the man you were saying one it should be in a 4 at the back. This is exactly why I'm telling you they can't play a 4 at the
Honestly,
back.
terrible. You know what I mean? You see teams that have got players that are not as good as Tottenham,
Yeah.
able to organise themselves so that you can't break them down. And that was just like far too, honestly, that's a joke. But it's on you lot, man. You know what I mean? The thing is, if you'd have won that game, you'd be right near the top 4 now. Now, all of a sudden now, you got Fulham, they're just 3 points behind you, right? You've got
Brighton.
2 points behind you. Brighton have got two
Brighton
games
got
in
two
hand
games
on
in
you.
hand, yeah.
You're going to have Liverpool running up on you now. You're going to have Chelsea running up on you.
I said start
You know?
the season.
Liverpool are
6.
in a position as well.
They
If they
call me
win their 2
crazy.
games, they'll go above Tottenham.
I don't think we'll be sick.
Right on this show, I said we'll be 6.
Hopefully we'll
and
be a
now
lot
it's
lower.
looking that might be a blessing.
Would you rather not be sick? Would you not
call me
rather be like
crazy.
9th and like have nothing?
I would rather that.
I'd
I would
rather
rather a year to just out of Europe, rebuild.
Fixtures coming up for you guys. You got you got Leicester.
It should ease up stuff from now on.
You got Leicester on Saturday?
After the
Have
Arsenal
you got a game
City
on
game.
Saturday?
No,
Monday,
you're in
no.
February. That's
Oh,
February.
You're in
Oh, so you
February,
got
mate.
City again, but this time at home. You got Leicester away, then you got the Milan game, then you got West Ham, and then you got Chelsea.
Fucking hell.
That's a hard month.
Yeah, I thought it was going to ease up.
Bro,
Say no more.
man.
Listen, man, it's going to get ugly. Strap in, lads.
Strap in, it's going to get uglier, but let's see if Conte's there in the morning. Colin Cahill said it's official. United must go and get Harry Kane. It's clear and evident he won't win anything. Well, that's been very clear and very evident for a long time, and I'm sure he will, and good luck to him. He deserves to go and win something. Wayne says depressions. I love that. Instead of expressions.
Depression's
Depressions was losing sores. Have you called him that before?
oozing sauce. Depressions,
Have
yeah.
you called him
Who's in
depression?
depression?
LJ Brown said, Abby, you once said Spurs being Spursy. Yep. Yep. Nothing else to really say on that. They are Spursy. It's very sad. Connor said, by the way, a personal shout out to Robbie. Every time I see him, I remember he did a charity walk in aid of prostate cancer. My dad had it and he beat it. Thank you. Big up to your dad. Big up to your dad. Anyway, it's been a lovely evening.
This is a win-win for me because it's either you would have done us a favour or not. You put yourself in the mud. You put yourself in the mud. Listen, I'm starting to feel a bit like an abuser at the moment because, we already mashed you up on Sunday and now I'm still on your case. I'm actually going to leave you lot alone.
Thank you.
I'm going to leave you lot alone because, he's starting to feel like I'm bullying.
It is. It really is.
So I'm going to leave you alone. But honestly...
And I'm probably going to have to see you again
man,
in the morning.
You guys should look at another club, man. Honestly, look at another club, man.
Nicky, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
See you
I've
soon.
enjoyed it.
Robbie?
Yep.
Thank you.
Listen,
Sorry, Spurs couldn't
I don't
help
know
you.
what to say to you guys, man.
Fuad?
I don't know what to say.
Fuad, we'll get through this together.
You're rocking, man, like a crazy man.
He's lost the plot. He's lost the plot.
To live, bro.
Jack
Come to the
Nicholson,
London Stadium for a little while, man.
No, God. Yeah,
Honestly, then you'll start appreciating
that might make
stuff.
us feel better. We might do that when we go
Yeah,
West
exactly.
Ham. Anyway, thank you, everyone. Alex is doing post-show with you. He'll talk you through everything you've just watched as well. Thank you for joining us. And we will see you very soon.